Hello, everyone. I'm Anthropomantic Fiend, and I do horror-related things on the internet. I am just here to hang out with anybody who might want to chat, whether it be on the actual live stream or just in the chat. I have no idea who's around or what's happening, but I am just here to chat if anybody is around. And yeah, I'm just going to be here to talk with anyone who wants to talk. But yeah, as of now, nobody is watching, so as soon as I see that someone is watching, I'll talk with those people. Until then, awkward silence. Are we really already a minute in? Time moves disturbingly fast. That's weird. Waiting for people to get here. Hi, one person. Please let me know who you are. I would love to talk with you about things. I hate when I do this awkward silence thing, but I really have no idea what to say. I've prepared nothing. I'm just here to hang out with people and talk about whatever. And we have 2 people watching. Please say hello in the chat. I'm happy to talk with you. Hey, Cole. What's been going on? I'm just chilling and hanging out for a while with anybody who wants to talk about anything. I am completely unprepared. This is kind of awkward, but yeah. If there's anything you want to talk about, I can talk about it. If not, I'll just try to think of something. So if you've watched anything interesting lately, let me know. I watched, I think it was Isle of Terror with Peter Cushing in it this morning. Monsters that basically suck all of the bones out of people's bodies and leaves them as kind of limp puddles, weird blobs. Fun movie. Kind of a metaphor for a pandemic in some ways, although you're supposed to all stay together in one room, which is kind of the reverse of that in some ways. So, but it also had some sort of interesting metaphors about the monster sort of dividing and spreading and attacking more people and getting bigger and multiplying, and they're kind of like a virus. And I keep seeing these parallels in horror movies that I watch, even when I don't really want to. What else did I watch today? I mean, yesterday I obviously watched Addams Family Values because I can't not watch that movie on Thanksgiving. It has to be done for obvious reasons. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm going to see if I can tell some other people about the stream and see what they want to do. New horror movies coming out next year. Willy's Wonderland. That does not sound familiar to me, but uh, the sort of Nights at Freddy's thing has never really been my personal thing, but I kind of get the appeal of it, and yeah, I don't know. Anything with Nicolas Cage in it, I will watch because he gets so insane and can go from 0 to 10 in all of the best ways. And any movie with him in it is automatically made better by his presence in that movie, no matter what he is doing, for sure. So, if you have favorite Nicolas Cage movies, that would be another thing. As of now, my favorite is probably Mandy for obvious reasons. Yeah, the whole killer animatronics thing. I don't know, that the game itself has never appealed to me because just jump scares, but I know that the new Banana Splits movie, which is a weird thing in and of itself, being based on like an old kids show, is sort of based around a similar killer animatronics thing. And I've heard people say that movie is garbage, and I've heard people say that that movie is an absolute blast, and I really do have to see it for myself. Absolutely, he is a king these days in horror. Isn't it awesome? Mandy is the best. Mandy is the absolute best. Everything about that movie. It's, first of all, just really pretty looking. Then it's also really brutal and gory and sad and heart-wrenching, and but also it's ultimately just like a cute love story. It's one of those revenge movies that has a lot of heart to it, which I think is great. It's very similar to The Crow in that way, I think. Except this one shows you everything leading up to the horrible event, and yeah, it just draws the whole thing out so much more, and I love it. Oh yeah, and I loved him in Color Out of Space. Color Out of Space was really good too. Uh, Probably, I don't know, there are a lot of good sort of cosmic horror, Lovecraftian type movies that are really good, but I think that is the best adaptation of Lovecraft's work that I've seen so far. Yeah, it blew my mind too. It's just such a mix of things. Cody, hey, what's up? We were just talking Nicolas Cage and Mandy. If you have a favorite Nicolas Cage movie or role, let me know. Yeah, my favorite scene in Color Out of Space, though, is the one where he is just like angrily throwing tomatoes into the trash, and he's like screaming "slam dunk," and it's beautiful because he's getting so angry at the things that he should not be getting angry at, and then when people are literally like morphing into monsters in front of him, he's totally chill about it, and I love that so much. Well, yeah, all Lovecraft stories are a bit out there. I just think the Color Out of Space movie is probably the best adaptation of his work that I've seen, because it keeps all the good stuff and kind of throws out the garbage aspects of who Lovecraft was as a person that he kind of wrote into some of his work, and just keeps what was really good about Color Out of Space to begin with. And it's actually really faithful to the book. So I'm trying to think, other cosmic horror movies would be another thing, which is something I think I got into on my last live stream. If you have favorite cosmic horror stories in general, that would be an awesome thing to bring up. In the Mouth of Madness is my favorite John Carpenter movie, and that's not quite cosmic horror, but it's very Lovecraftian and Lovecraft inspired, and uh, it is a total mind melt of a movie, and definitely my favorite. Cole, I haven't seen Vampire's Kiss yet, and that is something that I truly, truly regret, because vampires are just everything to me, and I know that movie is supposed to be totally bonkers and one of Cage's most over the top performances. So I haven't seen Vampire's Kiss, but I need to. I really need to. Let's see. I kind of wish Sutter Kane was a real horror a real horror writer too, Cody. If his work didn't completely drive me absolutely insane. I think I remember. Yes, exactly. Do you read Sutter Kane? But my favorite part of that movie, probably because there's so many good parts of that movie, is when Sutter Kane is appearing to Sam Neill's character and saying, "Did I ever tell you that my favorite color was blue?" And he just then wakes up and the entire like color palette of the world is blue, and he just starts screaming manically, and everyone around him is looking at him like he's a lunatic. It's the best thing ever. And yes, bonkers is the best. All my favorite horror movies are a little bit bonkers, usually. 80s horror fan. Excuse the awkward silence. I'm sending some invites to see if anybody wants to be on the live stream with me really quick. I did not know that, Cole. Remind me who Hayden Christensen is. Actually, I'm going to look that up really quick, or you can just tell me. We'll see who learns more first. Oh, that was fast. That's the whole thing about In the Mouth of Madness, Cody. Uh, they kind of show him as like becoming part of his stories as he's writing them, but at the same time, that could also just all be part of Sutter Kane's book. It's just so meta in so many different ways that there's no way to know what's real, and I love that. Oh yeah, oh of course. Now I know who he is. Yes, he's young Anakin. Oh, okay. Of course, of course, of course. The name wasn't ringing a bell, but the face definitely does. Yeah, I had no idea that that was the same person. That's wild, actually. Um. Yeah. So again, Cody, I think my sort of thing with In the Mouth of Madness is you might be right, but at the same time, totally meta, hard to say. Hey, Collector Man, it is good to see you again. We were just talking In the Mouth of Madness, and I had no idea that Hayden Christensen, who was young Anakin Skywalker, was in the movie, so that's fun. Hey, Arthur, how you doing? But the other thing about In the Mouth of Madness that I love so much is its soundtrack. That has got to be my favorite John Carpenter soundtrack, just because of the sort of rock and roll edge that it has to it. It is one of the most fun John Carpenter themes, I think. Hey, Kara, how you doing? Just talking John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness at the moment. Probably my favorite of his movies, but here to talk about whatever. He's a absolute genius composer. One of his most underrated soundtracks, in my opinion, has got to be for Ghost of Mars, because that is definitely not his best movie, but I love it anyway. I think it's a lot of fun, and he literally got Anthrax to play his score for the movie, which I think is amazing. And then he got guitarists like Buckethead and Steve Vai to just shred on the soundtrack, and it was really fun. Thank you, Arthur. I love this jacket as well. It's just pretty comfy. But yeah, and then obviously there's things like Halloween. But if you have other favorite John Carpenter soundtracks, that could absolutely be another thing we could chat about. Thank you, Deacon. Thank you very much. Ooh, Lost themes. Let me check. There's one of the Lost themes that I really liked. My friends, Max, who's been on here before, sent it to me a while back. It was... it was Wraith. Wraith from The Lost Themes. That is a really good track, really fun. Yes, the Halloween 3 soundtrack is really, really fun as well. A lot of people talk about the track Chariots of Pumpkins from that, which is definitely a really fun track. But that Silver Shamrock theme drives me up the wall. It just, ugh. Which is, of course, the point, but I don't even have words. I have not seen The Violent Kind or The Void yet, Cody. I really, really need to see The Void. I don't really know anything about The Violent Kind, though, so I couldn't say whether it's good or bad, but obviously you're entitled to your own opinion on that. But yeah, The Void looks right up my alley, too. The Thing, of course, Big Trouble in Little China, The Fog, Escape from New York, definitely really fun. And if we want to open the playing field even more, favorite horror soundtracks in general would be another thing. Again, In the Mouth of Madness is definitely up there, but I would also throw in Suspiria and Phantasm, and it doesn't usually stick in my mind as much, but I have a huge fondness for the Bram Stoker's Dracula soundtrack, and Danny Elfman's Sleepy Hollow soundtrack is beautiful. Yeah, Cody. Just by talking about it, I've gotten it stuck in my head again, which is total self-sabotage, and I hate myself for doing that to myself. Ugh. Also, Deacon and Kara, if you are still here, I sent links via our Facebook chats if you would like to be on the stream with me for a little bit. But if not, that is also fine. Yes, Collector Man. Phenomena. I absolutely love the soundtrack for Phenomena. Goblin in general, and Claudio Simonetti in general, always amazing, but Phenomena is definitely one that tends to stick in my mind. Shining, beautiful, of course, but going back to Phenomena, that movie in general, I am not sure why I love it so much. It is really bizarre and disjointed, but something about it just clicks with me. The atmosphere in that movie is perfect. And totally fine, Kara. If you're just hanging out, that is fine by me. It was so good, Cole. And it was weird because I was like right in front of the stage. Claudio Simonetti was like right in front of my face, and it was really, really freaking surreal. But it was the best. It was the absolute best. And yeah, they did the Suspiria soundtrack live. this is also Claudius Simonetti's Goblin. It's not the original lineup. This is basically his band Demonia, but doing some Demonia stuff as well as classic Goblin stuff, and they've been doing live scores for movies like Suspiria and Deep Red. I got to see them do Suspiria, which was amazing, and then they did a set of other Goblin and Claudia Simonetti soundtracks, and it was really fun. They did, as a tribute to George Romero, they did stuff from Dawn of the Dead, which was amazing. It is a new Goblin lineup. It's basically Claudia Simonetti with a new band performing old Goblin songs, as well as some just Claudia Simonetti solo stuff, which is really fun. That show also introduced me to the theme from Mother of Tears, which I have not seen. I've heard it's really bad, but hard to say. But I love the theme from Mother of Tears, partially because Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth sings on it, and I absolutely love it. And they played that live with most of Danny Filth's singing voice not on the track, and it was mostly just Claudia Simonetti doing a big keyboard solo. But they also had Danny Filth sort of screaming behind them, projected behind them on their screen, and it was fun. I don't know how underrated it is, especially because of the Stuart Gordon movie. I think Reanimator's got really popular, but the original story I don't think gets read as much. I think it is mostly just the movies. And it might just be me, but I prefer Bride of Reanimator just a little bit more than the original Reanimator. And the other thing that I find really weird about Reanimator is that the soundtrack is this total parody of the Psycho soundtrack. It is like a few notes away from being the Psycho soundtrack. And it's really fun in that regard, but I have no idea why they chose to do it that way, because it really doesn't, it's not a Psycho parody movie, it's Reanimator, and yet the soundtrack is a total parody of Psycho, but why? What does that have to do with Reanimator? It's just, I'm not complaining, it's just kind of confusing. But I was kind of happy with where Reanimator left off, Cody, and I think they did do some other takes on the story later on. But the thing that you brought up, Cody, I think it was you on Video Creeps live stream a while back, was the idea of a Phantasm and Reanimator crossover, and I love that idea because the Tall Man and Herbert West both need bodies to do their things with, and either seeing them team up or fight would be really fun for that reason. If they somehow end up in the same cemetery trying to steal bodies, that would be a lot of fun, actually, I think. And I don't know what else to talk about. Again, I did not think this through. I'm just here to hang out and do whatever. And I'm being awkward again. Also, there's delay on the comments as they come in usually, which just makes this even more uncomfortable for me. Yes, exactly, Cody. I have to wonder what Herbert West would think of lurkers, because he would probably totally question why they have to be really small, and the tall man would probably just be like, because of pressure and heat and stuff, and he would be like, that's unscientific, I need to know more, because that has always seemed like a really kind of whatever explanation for why these corpses are being shrunken down into tiny little people. It's really weird. We are losing viewers. I'm sad. Oh, more people again. But yeah, I would legitimately love to see a Reanimator Phantasm crossover. Obviously, you probably couldn't do that as a movie now. I would like to see something like that as a comic book. I think that would be really fun. So, Cody, have you watched anything interesting recently? I would have to wonder. I've heard some of the soundtrack that It Follows, and it is really good. I haven't actually seen It Follows yet. It sounds like a decent movie, but I have heard mixed things. I've heard a lot of praise for it, and then I've heard this slightly smaller but equally loud group of people saying that they really don't like It Follows. So, interesting. Yeah, West would like the Gravers. I think he would be very, very confused by the lurkers, though. Very confused. He would just be like, why do they need to be small? I need a scientific explanation for this, tall man. You gotta tell me. And he would just be like, gravity and heat and stuff. And just like, that's not scientific enough. I need more information. And then they would fight, probably. I have not seen the Hell House trilogy yet. I keep hearing people say that they're really, really good. Some of the better found footage movies. A lot of people enjoy them, find them legitimately creepy. But they like kind of jumped the shark at some point, which I think a lot of people also liked them for that reason, just because of how crazy they got. So I haven't seen them. I usually don't intentionally seek out found footage movies just because they're not my thing. But I did recently finally watch As Above, So Below, because I had friends recommending that one to me, and it was awesome, especially because it was set in the Paris catacombs, which gradually just kind of turned into hell, which was amazing because I have actually visited the Paris catacombs, and they are beautiful. They are really beautiful. You are not ready to understand. With patience, you will learn soon enough, boy. But would the tall man call West boy? Because I feel like he like saves that for Mike, because he just likes to mess with Mike by saying that. I've never heard him say boy to anybody else, but I do also feel like West might get on his nerves enough for him to call him that. And I'd love to just hear them bantering back and forth. That would be fun. That would be really fun. Remake Reanimator. What are they even going to do with a Reanimator remake? I don't know what else you would do with the story, because there's already other like readaptations of the Lovecraft story that I know of, but I don't really see what else you can do with that. But it has been a while since I've read the original story, so I don't know. If anyone has ideas of what they would do if they were to remake Reanimator, let me know. I don't really think it needs a remake, but most things don't need remakes, and they get them anyway, so whatever. If it's good, I will be happy. If not, I just won't watch it again. So, on another note, I have been planning my series of Christmas videos, which I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to announce yet, but I do have a special series of Christmas videos that I plan on announcing on either November 30th or December 1st. I will probably be posting a promo for those, but I do have a series of Christmas horror related videos that I'm really, really proud of, and I've been working really hard on, and I hope you will enjoy them. And if anyone has recommendations for Christmas horror movies, also, I need more things to watch in December that are seasonal but also creepy. Ooh, Terror Drome. Computer game like Mortal Kombat where you can be people like Tall Man and Herbert West. Ooh, it's free. Ooh, I actually might have to look into this. That would be fun. Cody, you are coming up with all the crossovers. We could cross over with Return of the Living Dead and Reanimator and Phantasm and all the movies about the living returning from the dead, and we could just have a saga of Herbert West versus this horror franchise with him just going through a bunch of different horror franchise worlds trying to find a better, more effective way to reanimate the dead or to learn more things. That might be fun, actually. Just have a crazy mashup of Reanimator with everything. Ooh, Collector Man. I hate saying this, but I haven't actually seen the original Black Christmas yet. I know it is a classic slasher, and I desperately need to see it, and I probably will be rectifying that this year, just because I know it is one of those movies that you need to see as a horror fan, and there are a surprising amount of like essential horror movies that I haven't seen yet, and I feel bad for not having watched yet, and I don't want to list all of them because I'll just be sort of, yeah, I don't want to go there. But yeah, I will definitely try to watch the original Black Christmas sometime this December. Not too keen on watching the new remake because I have heard basically nothing but bad things about it. I've heard that the sort of mid-2000s Black Xmas remake, a lot of people didn't care for, but also a lot of people said that one was a lot of fun and that they really like it. So might have to check that out at some point too. Yeah, of course, we can't see everything. I spent such a long time just in the world of like Universal monster movies in black and white and being afraid of more gory oriented stuff that I didn't see a lot of classic movies in sort of the slasher vein for a really, really long time, and I am still catching up. Hey Trenchy, hey Crips, I just watched your albums that influenced me as a kid video, Crypt, and you have awesome, awesome taste in music. I am glad that you're up there mentioning bands like Death and Typo Negative and Carcass and a lot of my favorite bands. Hey Maddie, glad to see that you're here. New leather jacket is always good. I used to have another one that was basically a hoodie and leather jacket all in one, which was really convenient. You could literally zip them together and they would be one jacket, and that would be the perfect thing to wear in winter. Now I have to have them separate, and it's a lot more awkward. And, if anybody out there has interest in being on the stream with me, let me know. I will link you. Oh my God, Cody, all the crossovers. Yep. Tall Man, Herbert West, Johnny Bartlett from The Frighteners. I need to re-watch The Frighteners because that's a fun movie. And I need to watch Maniac Cop because I know that one is a classic. All right, I will link you, Trenchy. Oh my God. I do need to check out Jack Frost. I know that one is a cheesy classic in a lot of people's eyes. And oh my God, I've heard other people sort of joke about how easy it would be to switch that tape with a cop, switch out the family movie Jack Frost with the slasher movie, but the fact that you actually did it is delightful. Oh, you want in, Cody? Should I post the link through Instagram or something? Because if you want in, you can do that. ARD Zombie, we're talking about lots of different things at the moment. Christmas horror, Phantasm, Reanimator, zombies. Yeah, conversation's kind of all over the place at the moment. And we have Deacon with us. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right. I was a silly sausage and didn't look at my Facebook.
That is fine. That is totally fine. How are you? I'm all right. How are you? I was like, who is this other person who sounds suspiciously like me?
Yep. Sorry, I have muted the video.
It's fine.
Once again, being a silly sausage.
No worries.
Oh, yes. Many topics are being discussed tonight. Music, movies, mashups, crossovers.
Yep. And Ben Grimm has just said that Jack Frost deserves a NECA or a puppet, which would be fun.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yep. I'm curious, what other characters do you think deserve like an action figure that haven't gotten one?
Oh, okay. That's going to be a tricky one. Because there's a lot of action figures out there.
Yep.
I suppose I would like to have a set of the Munch Bunch brothers from Scooby Doo and the Curse of the Werewolf.
Ooh, fun. I have not seen that in a while.
Yeah, they're kind of like two of my favorite characters from that movie. It's like, yes, one where Shaggy's a werewolf or the monsters are real.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind having kind of like their little figures, but you're never going to find them. Hey, Trenchy, he's in the chat. Oh my God, there's people.
All right, Maddie. Once I've sent the link to Trenchy and Dakota, I will try to send something your way. Just let me know how I need to send that to you, and I'll do it.
Oh, but how have you been doing this week? How was your Thanksgiving? Are you completely stuffed as the turkey was?
I don't know if completely stuffed, but we just finished off most of the Thanksgiving leftovers today, and we didn't really need to eat supper because we just had such a late lunch and so much of it, which would be nice. But I watched Addams Family Values yesterday, as is Thanksgiving tradition for me, or I try to make it Thanksgiving tradition anyway.
Oh, I don't blame you. That is a Thanksgiving movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, between the obvious Thanksgiving section, it's also just a movie about family, though, which is very Thanksgiving-y.
Yeah, it's about how a family can be torn apart but will come together no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I quite like it. I mean, The First Addams Family, you could definitely argue, is a Christmas movie.
I mean, you've got the Christmas opening scene, and then it ends on Halloween, which is nice. First Addams Family is kind of a year-round movie for me.
Yeah, you could even watch it on Easter.
You could. I think I actually got my Addams Family Value stuff double feature in my Easter basket one year from my uncle.
That's a lot better than chocolate and healthier for your teeth.
For the most part, I mean, the Addamses aren't always that healthy for your teeth. If you've seen the way Gomez practices dentistry on Uncle Fester, or rather, I think it was Morticia on Gomez in an episode, and she had like a drill in his mouth, and he was like very relaxed by the whole experience. He was just like, no, don't stop. You were just hitting a nerve.
Yeah, I get the feeling that if Gomez Addams walked into the dentist's office in The Little Shop of Horrors, the dentist would have met his match.
I mean, yeah. I mean, him and the masochistic dental patient character, who is, either Jack Nicholson in the original movie or Bill Murray in the musical, him and Gomez would be friends for sure.
Oh, yeah. Be kind of like, oh, you do this for fun as well.
Mm-hmm. They could talk about all their wonderful, painful experiences together.
You can just imagine one of them turning around saying, yes, I intentionally came in to try and get a root canal done.
Uh-huh.
And the dentist always says, thanks for the memories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But has anything interesting happened? Has the world imploded in any major way, or is it all tickety-boo?
Things seem to be fine at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little distracted just because I'm trying to send links. I just sent you the link, Trenchy. If you want in, I'm going to send it to Cody and Maddie. If you were, I typically send links through different social media outlets like Facebook, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but if you find the Anthropomantic Fiend page on there, you can shoot me a message there and we can talk. I'm also on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and if you have any of those platforms, I can contact you through there, and you can come on and hang out.
Out of all of us fiends, he is the one who has the biggest social presence.
My family has basically told me that despite how introverted I am, I'm the most social person in my family, which is so weird to me, but it's also true.
Well, you socialise with people. It's just that you don't always go out to see them. Ah, we have a Trenchy.
Hey, Trenchy.
Hey.
Once again, I'm stuck in between a sexy sandwich. Well, I was stuck between a sexy sandwich.
Again, I don't know if I call myself sexy. I mean, Trenchy's the dick hunter down here.
Oh shit! I should have changed that. My bad. That's a gag from another stream.
Nanny?
Wait a minute. That means I've had this title the whole time I was on Mark's stream, and I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed it, and I was like, "That's probably just Trenchy being Trenchy. It's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an inside joke from a stream from last night. Yeah.
Yep. Maddie, no app necessary. If you just hit the link, it should take you to the StreamYard page, and if you have a camera built into your device in any way, it should hook you up, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, the only time that you need it is if you're going to be setting up and hosting yourself, which you're probably not going to be doing unless you are a creator.
For the most part, yeah.
It's part and parcel of the job description. Oh, but yes, it's nice to see some friendly faces. It's been too long.
Yep. And Cole brought up this game earlier called Terrordrome, which sounds amazing. It's basically Mortal Kombat with horror characters, and he just listed all the characters you can be in the chat.
Ooh.
So you can be
Yeah, I'd like to play that.
Michael Myers, 2 versions of Jason, Freddy, Pumpkinhead, Candyman, Leatherface, Maniac Cop, Ash, Chucky, Ghostface, the Tall Man, and Herbert West. That is a lineup.
Oh, yes, please. I would love to play that game.
It's free. It's free.
Linky, I kill stuff.
I don't have a computer.
Ah.
I said I can't play. I don't have a computer, but I will gladly watch other people play it.
Trenchy, do you ever have $150 spare?
Probably not. No.
Nah. In that case, I'll brainstorm.
No, it's good, man. It's good. I work well with the tablet. As long as I can hang out with you guys, I'm happy.
As long as you're happy, that's the main thing. As long as you find joy in what you do, then please keep doing it.
Exactly. I like hanging out with you guys. I like producing videos for you guys. That's all I need. As long as I can watch and create, I'm good. I don't need anything fancy.
I think we're all a bit like that. It's just as long as we can communicate and enjoy ourselves, then that's all that really matters. But yes, sorry I was a bit late, Anthro, and a little bit distracted in the chat. For a project, I was trying to find a humorous song about nightmares. That was more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
God. I should know this. I should know this.
Well, I found a good humorous one. It's just, yeah, it's English rapping, so.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm making a Freddy Krueger comedy music video.
Ooh, fun.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, and yes, Trenchy, I am 40% done doing your Ghoulies video.
No problem, dude. Dude, you don't have to worry about that. Take your time.
Ooh,
Hey,
Ghoulies.
made it
What you guys doing for Ghoulies?
Oh, you know my monster manual where we go into where they come from, powers, weaknesses, how to summon them, what connections they have with other things. Trenchy asked me to do that for the Ghoulies.
Fun. I'm probably going to be reviewing the Ghoulies movies at some point because Collector Man sent me a copy of Ghoulies 3, and I want to review 1 through 3.
Ooh,
I was
if we ever get into a private stream where we're not on YouTube, I've got them on my computer, so.
All right.
Because Ghoulies 3 is my favorite Ghoulies movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
It's Ghoulies Go to College, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's after you, Trenchy.
Oh, no. You can go, Deacon. I was just going to say I was interested in seeing how he would react to it.
Oh, I'll be interested in seeing how he reacts to it as well, because it's definitely the one where they went the most extreme with everything.
I'm excited. I'm very excited because,
But
yeah,
but yeah, it's the only one where you can actually hear the Ghoulies speaking English.
And it's awesome. And they get drunk and they steal panties. It's amazing.
Okay.
Look out for Matthew Lillard. He's in that movie.
Oh, snap. All right.
Yeah, man. Fucking, yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah. Cole says there's tons of Paradrome videos on YouTube if you want to look them up.
Oh, I might have to.
Yeah. And they're working on a second game where they're going to bring the Universal monsters into it, which excites me quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, man.
That would be cool. As long as I don't, unfortunately, I do have to say this, as long as I don't make Dracula overpowered to all shit, it'll be a good game.
I mean, he is overpowered to all shit in the original story, but, you know.
I know, but...
Cody, don't do this. Don't bring up the true crime in front of Deacon. That's a bad idea.
What? What's happening?
The most serial killer in history is, and
okay,
Deacon on stream. This could go.
This could go in a very dark direction.
Yes, it could, but get some of this out of your system while I send some links.
Okay. In that case, I need you to clarify, Creepy Cody. Are you on about the most sickening, as in not the amount of victims, but what they did to the victims? Sickening as in the amount of victims, or sickening as in both?
Okay, I got a question. If Ampro will allow it.
Sure.
Okay, so would Albert Fish be on that level, Deacon? Or is there worse?
Albert Fish would be on the amount and what he did to them, but he would not be the worst.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Who the hell is worse than Albert Fish? It's Albert Fish.
Oh, Cody's asking for what they did to the victims mainly.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
My soul, but go ahead.
Okay. In that case, I would have to say, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I really can't. But she was a mother of 6 kids. And over the course of, say, about 4 years, she dwindled that number down to 2 by starving one to the point where she was literally cutting off parts of her own daughter's fingertips and toes to feed them to her. She gave one a boiling pot of porridge, and I mean straight off the stove, red hot, straight onto her lap while she was buck naked, and she had the entire thing before she could get up and move.
Oh, God.
She was beaten, she was tortured, she was killed, and then buried in the back garden.
You're going to make me cry, man. Like, Jesus.
She ended up psychologically and physically abusing one of her sons to the point where not only did he castrate himself, he then killed himself.
He castrate? What the fuck?
Why?
Because his mother kept on telling to him she wished he was a girl.
I need my comfort donuts, man. This ain't good.
Those look good. Those look
And
really good.
the last victim was a baby, not even a year old.
No.
And she was stuffed into the oven at 360 degrees until she was roasted clean through alive.
I literally have tears coming out of my eyes right now. I want to kill this bitch. Don't know.
The sick part is the reason she got caught and the reason that everything went a bit skew-whippy is because she fed the baby to her other two children.
Wait, she fed the baby to the other children?
Yes.
Who started this? Who asked? Who started this bullshit?
Cody.
I blame you for this. I blame you for this. This is your fault.
It's fault. You just got here.
Hey, man, it's the human race. Y'all all to blame, actually.
Yeah, humans are the actual worst.
We are. I finally watched The Monster Club, and I agree with that ending speech so fucking much.
I mean, what do you guys want? You've been doing it since the beginning of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I like how he's saying you guys, like he's not one of us. Are you an alien, sir?
I am mentally. Mentally, I'm not from around here, and spiritually, but physically, I'm human, I guess, biologically speaking.
Yeah. I
guess, I feel that.
Yeah, I guess we all kind of feel that on some level. Deacon's an actual monster. I mean, look at him.
Yeah. Don't worry, I know where you're coming from. You're trying to deal with humans, man.
But he's like a cute monkey-like monster from his picture right there. You know, it's not that bad.
Oh, you should see me in real life.
Yeah, he's got this kind of gremlin dichotomy going on somewhere between the Mogwai side and the gremlin side.
Oh, I don't mind that description. Quite apt. Just add in albino, and you've got the right idea. I'm an albino gizmo halfway through transforming.
I always wanted one when I was a kid, so that's good.
Who doesn't?
I know, they're so cute. They're so cute until they try and eat the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that part, not so much.
Well, in some situations, the dog probably deserves it.
Aw.
The dog never deserves it.
The dog never deserves it. You never kill the dog in the horror movie unless you automatically want me to hate you.
Like, what if the dog's an asshole?
Does that mean that you hate Trick or Treat with Sam?
Well, because he's cute, I'm gonna give him a pass. But if he kept doing it in every film, then I think we would have a problem.
Yeah.
You know.
Not only did he kill a dog, he drained all of its blood and then wrote on the walls.
Well, he had to write it with something.
Exactly. I agree with this man.
Well, they did it. Well, they did an alternate take for the dog survived. I think at one point. That's the other thing, though. Sam kills a cat too. You can hear he's dragging his giant sack around it as it thumps down the steps. You can hear the cat in the bag meowing.
Well, cats are pieces of shit. So.
But cats have 9 lives. At least it might have a chance.
God damn it, they do.
Bear.
Oh, these fuckers are never gonna die. Oh.
Nope, you're stuck with your cats forever. This is how this works.
This is why they were worshipped in Egypt. They just kept coming back.
Oh yeah, Michael Myers kills dogs too, but I mean, he's just a nightmare. He's purely and simply evil.
The bizarre thing is, I think the only one in basically the old slashers that didn't really kill the pets or any dogs was Freddy.
Well, Freddy was just after the kids. He had like Jason and Michael, I feel like, weren't always quite in control of their own actions. Freddy knew exactly what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they were more reactionary, where he was more actionary.
Exactly.
Oh, Jen just brought up Mark Wahlberg killing the dog in Fear. Remember when they stuck the dog's head for the doggy door?
Yeah. Oh, and Vincent Price killed a bunch of poodles in Theater of Blood and then fed them to his owner.
That sounds brilliant. I want to see this movie. Fuck poodles.
You have to see Theater of Blood right now. It is Vincent Price as this overzealous Shakespearean actor who all the critics hated, who like committed suicide, but then apparently has survived and comes back and starts killing off his critics in little vignettes inspired by Shakespeare plays.
That sounds like the best thing ever.
That's actually interesting. I haven't seen that.
It is really, really fun. I'm trying to think. That scene is probably my favorite, but he also takes the burning of Joan of Arc at the stake in one of Shakespeare's plays and basically turns it into he has like his hair done up in this like he basically is like this Vincent Price dresses as like this crazy 70s hairstylist in this one scene and like sticks this girl in this like hair dryer and like basically turns the power way too high up and fries her. That's
only he could do that.
Yeah, that's his version of burning at the stake.
That's
Let's get the hair dryer.
That's the shit.
I really felt like he wasn't appreciated enough in his time, in my opinion.
No. Vincent Price still isn't appreciated enough by some horror fans.
Yeah, I was watching a review, and one of the people in the review was a joint review. They were reviewing House on Haunted Hill, and one of the persons in the review called it schlock, and I'm like, I would not call House on Haunted Hill schlock. Is it cheesy? Yes, but it's nowhere. It's a good story. It's.
I loved it as a kid.
Yeah,
yes, I love it too.
I think in these circles that would be fighting the words, wouldn't it, Trenchy?
Exactly. It's like I really respected the main person doing the review, but just the guest they had on was kind of like, I think he was being a little too cruel to the movie.
He was probably doing it to be controversial and say, "Look, we've got two sides of the argument. Give us views," instead of an honest opinion.
I mean, he's genuine, but it's just, I don't know. I'm not gonna take it out on the guy. He's probably, it just seemed a little much, and I had to defend it in the chat. I had to be like, nope.
Exactly. Nope. The poodle pie in Theater of Blood is the best.
I try to stay away from reviews because I feel like if I watch the reviews first, I'm not going to watch the film, and I don't want it to affect me like that.
I get that.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing.
Yeah, if it's a movie that I want to watch and I know is coming out, I won't watch the trailers. Where if it's something I've never heard of before and it's not out in cinemas, I'll watch a trailer for it or a review and see what it's like.
Okay, Collector Man, I think you misunderstood. It was only one person, and they were only talking about House on Haunted Hill. They were not talking about any of Vincent Price's other work. I'm not trying to portray this person in a bad light. Like,
Right. No, I also mentioned earlier that I also think that there are people who don't appreciate Vincent Price enough now. And I think
They
that's not.
don't.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly because they don't know who he is. They only know him as either the inventor in Edward Scissorhands, which is brilliant, or the laugh at the end of Thriller, which is also brilliant, but he's done so many other far more amazing things.
Bunch.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
for some strange reason, the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Yes, indeed. A few different William Castle references there, but yeah. Having Vincent Price in Scooby-Doo is brilliant in and of itself.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he's just one of those actors who's always going to be underrated because his work, although progressive in the time and although his movies will probably still be cult classics, most people of the younger generation don't want to watch the old movies. They don't want to sit through a Vincent Price movie, so they don't understand how good he was and how much of what they enjoy is based on what he did.
Yeah.
Cause I
know-
agree.
Yeah, I know that some people I'm lucky in the kind of horror fans I've met in terms of that they will watch anything, but I have met people who won't watch anything that came out before Psycho, or even won't watch anything that came out before 1970, which sucks.
I grew up on the Universal stuff before I got into the slasher stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
The Universal monsters were my gateway into all of this.
Yeah, I was brought up on monster movies before slashers, and they're the ones that sunk into my brain.
Mhm.
It's so
Me
weird
too.
though because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trenchy. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say me too. I started with '90s It, and then I saw a couple slashers when I was young, but it was mostly like monster movies, Universal monsters, all that.
Yeah, me too. It's just this is my biggest problem as a kid when I got into it when I was 5 or 6 years old. My mom was completely against the slasher stuff because people are having sex in it, people getting chopped up in it. But she had nothing against the Universal monster stuff. But I'm like, people are still getting killed in it. You just don't see much blood. They're still getting killed in the films.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird logic.
Yeah, it's like the original Frankenstein. You can enjoy that, you can watch it, and yeah, you see the girl in the lake, you see him basically throwing her, but you don't see the connecting image to say, violence took place and she is dead.
But then later on in the movie, the father's carrying around her dead body around the town, and she's just limping his arms, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I sometimes
depressing.
get the feeling that in that movie, there could have been a very big change where someone turned around and said, wait, the fingers around the girl's neck are yours. It was the dad all the time.
Oh God.
Poor
That would
monster.
be messed up.
Yeah, poor monster. Misunderstood.
I love the monster. He's like me. People misunderstand me and want to burn me and shit, and then I crush their necks when they get too close, like the monster did. So.
Oh, at least you can crush their necks. I'm too short for that. But the pitchforks are too big. I have to run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the monster is like the ultimate like sympathetic monster character, but at the same time, people don't give him enough credit for how much of a savage he is in that original movie. Fritz is tormenting him with the torch, and then they come in later, and Fritz is like hanging from the ceiling in like a noose.
Yeah, I think he actually used the whip to actually hang him.
He used the whip to hang him.
It's payback in his mind. It's revenge for being tormented all the time.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, that's the first instance of whiplash in media.
But I'm like, yeah, it's savage. But I'm like, if I was chained up and being ripped by this hunchback, can I say the F word on here or not?
Oh, totally. Go ahead.
By this little hunchback fuckle, I would strangle his ass, get the whip up, and just let him choke to death, and let that be the end of it.
Right. But yeah, I feel like we've kind of gone through this sort of whole thing where the monster started as like the sort of poetic, sympathetic character that was also crushing people, but then people just sort of focused on him as like the lumbering, hulking monster, and now people are just focusing on him as like the poor sympathetic little monster character. But he's both of those things in like the original movie. He's really relatable and sympathetic, but he's also just brutal.
Yeah, he's sympathetic because he doesn't understand. He's trying to learn. He's trying to understand the world around him. It's not his fault that by accidentally grabbing someone, he crushes their skull like a grape.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
That's just
I was
the way he is, the way he was made.
Yeah, literally the way he was made.
Yes, I always compare his performance to a mix between a scared child and a scared animal, because that's what he is.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much what he is. The whole movie, a mix between an animal and a child.
He was just born like what 2 days ago in that film, so he came into the world. Should we use that term? Because he wasn't born, technically speaking.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing. When he throws that girl in the lake, they're just throwing flowers in the lake. They're having a fun time. And then he runs out of flowers, so obviously he's like, oh, I need to throw something in the lake. Oh, I'll throw the girl. It's fun. He didn't mean to kill him.
I'll throw the girl who has the name of a flower.
That was weird. I always thought that they were hinting that she was going to die in some way, like the flowers would.
Did you know that actually during Frankenstein, there are some cut versions where it doesn't show him throwing her into the water? They just completely cut it out of the film.
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like originally, like the censors went really hard on Frankenstein, and so much got cut out. The original version of the "It's Alive" part, where he says, "Oh, in the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God," they masked that with a lightning strike because they were like, "That's blasphemous. We can't say that."
And it's probably the best line of the movie.
It is.
It is the best line.
I love
Man becomes God.
Yeah.
I love the opening warning that they give that the movie's scary.
Uh-huh.
The Simpsons actually parodied that for the very first Treehouse of Horror Simpsons Halloween special that they did. Marge comes out in front of a red curtain in a spotlight and warns the audience they're referencing Frankenstein.
Uh-huh. I love that too. Oddly enough, Phineas and Ferb, the Disney kids show, also did an episode parodying the original Frankenstein, and they did the curtain gag as well. And then they did the girl by the lake bit and everything, and they ended up just like making friends and not dying, and it was weird. But they like referenced a lot of actual parts of the original movie in a way that was fun.
Yeah, that's why I love that show. They go very unique in some of their parodies and stuff. They choose some very unique routes.
Yeah.
I've only seen a few episodes of Phineas and Ferb, but it's really clever for a kid's show. I love it when kid shows are really clever and can appeal to adults as well.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the smarter kids shows. And they do reference a lot of horror on there. There is an episode where Phineas has made a teleporter machine, and he decides to take one of his friends through it on a test run, and he comes through as like a half human, half fly, like in The Fly, and he's like
The Fly.
put the filter on, let me put you back through, and he just puts him back through, and it's fine.
Another Vincent Price film that's been underrated in the past.
Oh, yeah, especially that original 50s Fly. So good. So good.
I gotta see that still. That's another one I gotta see of his.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in that film that I cannot watch under any circumstance. I cannot watch it.
Which one's that?
Ooh, please. Yes.
For those of you who have seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's the web scene. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Help me! Help me!
Yeah.
Don't do that. Seriously. Don't.
Help me.
It made me just want to exterminate spiders from the earth. Like, I just want to fucking kill them. I just want to wipe them out.
Yeah, exactly. I get that. The thing about that scene is when they got the actor in that scene to like be in the web for that, he was actually screaming his lungs out on the set. But they sped it up and made it so tiny and high pitched, and he was like, I blew out my lungs for this tiny squeaky voice for hearing. I'm not getting paid enough to do this.
How did you learn that tidbit of information, Fiend?
I read a book a long time ago. It's by Tom Weaver. He does a lot of interviews with like classic B movie and horror actors. He's done like a ton of books, but he did an interview with one of the with the actor who plays the Fly in that original movie in one of those books. I'll have to see which one it is, but I used to check out Tom Weaver's books all the time because that was a good way to learn about a lot of the classics.
Oh, sure.
He writes mostly on horror.
Horror and cult film, horror and sci-fi, especially like the B movies in the 60s. That's kind of his realm.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I went to, like, 4 or so years ago, I went to the Monster Bash horror convention in Pennsylvania, and he was there hosting B-movie trivia, and I got to go up on stage and failed to answer his questions, and it was very awkward.
Like, this is why I don't go to these events, because if I had a question for one of these dudes, I feel like they're either not going to know the answer or they're just not going to answer it outright.
Yeah.
You know?
I did meet Tom Sullivan, who did the effects on the Evil Dead movies, though, and he invited me over to his table, and he was really chill.
Oh,
really
man.
nice. Yeah.
No, that's good when it works out.
I've never been to a horror convention before. I've been to a comic book convention. I live in a city where they do Mad Monster. I just haven't been yet.
Right.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
I've only been to a few conventions, and just Monster Bash the once. That's the only horror convention I've been to, and I've been to a few local Comic Cons a couple of times, and it was always fun. I just haven't. There's just so many things I'm doing already, and obviously most cons aren't happening this year anyway, so I haven't found the time.
Yeah, I've never been to any type of convention due to, money and traveling issues
Yeah.
for me.
I like
Yeah,
to
me
meet
too.
certain people, but like someone like Robert Englund, I had a friend that went to Mad Monster. I live in North Carolina, so a Mad Monster is a very big horror convention. I actually delivered pizzas to it. It's held at a major hotel, but I have a friend that went, and he went to see Robert Englund. It took a day and a half to see him.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that I'm not interested in, but like meeting an effects artist for like Evil Dead or something, that's something I would be interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Sullivan was really nice, but then Rick Catazone, who did the Henrietta transformations on Evil Dead 2. I also met him at a different convention, just Wonderfest, which is here. That's just like a general Comic-Con. And I approached him, and I was so awkward. I hate thinking about that interaction because I was just like kind of standing there trying to think of questions to ask him about his stop motion animation. And I was so awkward.
You know what?
That's my biggest deal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal something from another YouTuber named Christian Hanahar. He says when he goes to conventions, his icebreaker is if they have like photos out that they to purchase to like sign, he always asks them, well, what's your favorite photo? And then they'll pick one, and then they start talking about that photo, and they start talking about stories about it. I thought that was a pretty clever icebreaker.
That's a smart way to do it. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had your guys' problem. I tend to walk up to all sorts of people, and I'm not very good at starting a conversation, but I can definitely say something that will get their attention.
Fucking Deacon, man. Like what like besides Warwick Davis, what's like the most awkward celebrity encounter you've had, Deacon? Besides Warwick Davis, we know that one.
The most awkward. That would have to be name. I can't remember his name. He played Calder Cut's assistant in DS9.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, we were just. It was at a Star Trek convention. It was at the 50th anniversary. The Rat
Okay.
Pack was there. He's a singer. and he's from the DS9 crew as well. And I didn't get a chance to see him properly until after the event had ended, when we were both in the elevator. And I just turned around and said, "So, how much sweat did you end up accumulating underneath all that makeup?"
Okay.
Just
What?
a random question that came to my head.
Wow.
It was a very awkward 2 minutes of silence, and he got off.
That's not good, but
I can't imagine you being silent for 2 minutes.
Fair.
I can try. But yeah, it's just kind
I'm
of
kidding.
like, what do I say now? I think I asked a question that probably I should not have asked.
Mhm.
I think the awkward public one was once again at the 50th one. You had both the Daxes on stage doing a question time. So I asked them both the same question, and I got the same response, which was, "So, do you resent that Dax for having all the popularity, and do you resent this Dax for taking over your job?"
Those aren't really pleasant questions to ask somebody.
they're not.
I don't have tact.
It's like
Deacon, I love you, man.
it's like asking Robert England, "Do you resent Jackie Earl Harley for doing your Freddy role?"
Yeah.
And he's probably just gonna say this, no fucking comment. Probably be his response.
Well, Robert can sleep easy at night knowing that he is Freddy.
Of course.
I think he's convinced himself that he actually is Freddy in real life. I think he's actually.
Oh God.
He isn't.
I hope
he
not.
is an actor. He is an actor, and that's part of the process for some actors.
Right.
Right. But to like stay in that 24/7 even when the movie's over, like that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that would scare me. But I've heard people talk about meeting him, and they've said he's really chill and really personable. So, but yeah, Collector Man says he had to get in line 3 hours ahead of time to meet Robert Englund, which is, insane.
It took 4 hours and a ticket to meet George Romero, and he didn't even talk to me.
Ooh.
He was.
Oh.
It was a signing at a comic book shop in Charlotte, and it was a really special event. And me and a bunch of friends showed up, and everyone else in Charlotte showed up. And this was probably about 10 years ago. A couple years before his passing, and we left. I got a ticket, and I left. And as I left, I just shouted, "We love you here in Charlotte, George." And he said, "Thank you." And so that's all I got to talk to him. I had a DVD of Season of the Witch, and I knew it was. He doesn't like the film, but it had an alternate title. And when I came up to him, he was just so busy. He was signing and passing. I mean, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people, and they were trying to get this done in just a few hours. So I walked up to him. I asked him, well, which title do you prefer for your film? And he just ignored me and signed it and walked off. So it was a little disappointing, but at least he said thank you to me when I shouted rudely at him.
Of course. But I mean, again, hundreds of people. He's getting rushed. He's probably stressed out and flustered and really tired. And
Who wouldn't be?
Do that.
I mean, he's a career fringes of Hollywood filmmaker. The amount of people he sees and the sheer amount of people that come up to him every day, it's probably just overwhelming, especially at an older age.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
he's not a spring chicken for sure.
Yeah,
he put up with all that shit.
Yeah,
I had so many questions, but
he's at the age where he's realised that time is very precious.
Yeah. But I love Romero. He's the best. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead, guys.
No, I
Which
was just
is-
saying good night to Arthur. He's going to bed.
Oh, night, Art. Sleep well.
Night art.
Night.
Have many Trenchy-filled dreams.
What's everyone's
But
favorite
no,
Romero film?
No,
Mine has got to be the original Night of the Living Dead. The first time I saw it, it made me cry because I was not prepared for it.
Yeah, it's a brutal ending. It's a brutal
really
ending. But the original Night is my favorite. I've never even seen all of the remake, but I mean, I'm sure Tom Savini did a fine job, and I know he makes the Barbara character stronger and more independent. But to me, nothing can beat that black and white atmosphere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have watched all of the Tom Savini version, and it is obviously nothing's topping the original movie, but it is the best that you could have done with a remake. It's doing a lot of the things that made the original really good, but it's also doing a lot of really interesting new things. They do make Barbara stronger. She actually survives to the end of the movie, and she ends up. She actually recognizes. I forget the character's name, but he's the guy who wants to stay in the basement because that's the only place that's safe.
Mhm.
And
yeah, that prick. Yeah.
yeah, she recognizes him, and he's like, "Oh, thank God you came back for us." And she actually recognizes him that he's not a zombie and that he's still alive, and she just shoots him and kills him.
Harry.
Yeah.
That was the name, I think. Harry Koopel, I believe, the character.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is it
but-
Tony Todd that replaces the lead in that film?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
Tony
he
Todd,
replaced-
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does he
Ben.
survive at the end of that version?
He does not survive, and he actually does become a zombie, which I'm not sure how I feel about, to be honest. But I understand that they wanted to do something different, and Tony Todd does a fantastic acting job.
Mhm.
Okay.
But they end it with Barbara going to this sort of little camp with all of the other sort of zombie hunters and the police and the sheriff and everybody, and they're all there's like a bunch of them who have like tied zombies to a tree and are dangling them down and are hitting them with sticks, and they're like seriously doing this. And Barbara's like, "Oh my God, we're them and they're us. We're all the monsters here."
Yeah.
Mm.
The zombies are just a dark reflection of what we are in the end.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And I,
Which
and I
is
feel like that's kind of there in the original movie. They just spell it out more in the remake.
That's what I loved about Romero, was that he invented that type of monster, that type of zombie at least. Because without those films, Romero's films, you would not have The Walking Dead or any type of flesh-eating zombie thing.
No.
But also, I love that he didn't give a shit about what caused it. He did not care at all about what was making the dead rise. You know, it
Mhm.
could be anything. Doesn't matter. It's happening.
You
Yeah.
could argue
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Death in and of itself is unexpected and irrational.
Yeah, and because
Exactly.
he takes it from the focus of the everyday person, most of the everyday people aren't going to know what caused it, where it came from, where it originated.
Mhm.
They're
But-
not gonna care either.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like,
more about
get the
getting their
fuck
rocks
out of
in.
here.
That's why Romero. Oh, sorry if you're gonna say something. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, I just coughed.
That's why Romero always had these characters that just say this: God changed the rules on us. You know, that was enough for Romero to give an explanation for. Like, I guess God changed the rules. You know, it's as simple as that.
Mhm.
That was good enough.
Yeah, God changed the rules. Nature flipped a switch. Something happened, but we don't care. We're just trying to survive and not being eaten.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
The
Also-
only,
Go on.
oh, my bad, dude. If I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say that on the flip side of that, I love that Return of the Living Dead basically blames the government for the zombie outbreak, and that
Of course.
Yeah.
But the trioxin stuff, right? That's what it's called, is trioxin. And what the weirdest thing about that chemical is that it was made to kill marijuana plants. And I'm like, that's the weirdest origin that you can give this thing, is that it was used to wipe out marijuana. You know?
Well, dude, look at Return of the Living Dead. The whole movie's whack shit. That's perfect origin for that movie.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
love
whack.
that movie, though.
Yeah.
So
me too.
where is that? In what film is that information regarding it was used to wipe out marijuana?
Return of the Living Dead.
It's in the original Return. It's in the original. The thing about Return of the Living Dead that always gets to me is it's set in Louisville, Kentucky, which is the city I live in, which gets nuked at the end of the movie. So I'm just like, yay, my city gets nuked in Return of the Living Dead. That's our claim to fame.
It was fun knowing you, Fiend, before the nuke comes.
We now know why Anthro glows in the dark.
I wish.
I thought those zombies were actually more tragic, though, because they're not mindless or soulless in return.
Yeah.
Like they're like us, you know.
They're just trying to numb the pain.
And I'm like, you call them monsters or zombies, but I'm like, if you were dead but reanimated all of a sudden, but you can feel everything that's happening to your body, you need something to make it go away. You can't exist like that, Rebel. And it's sad. It's kind of sad. You gotta feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I'm actually
They're pretty much a metaphor
right
for
now,
drug
but you just learn
addicts.
to live with it.
Well, for drug habits, and for a metaphor for those who have lifelong conditions that restrict movement, cause pain, illness, degradation.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that too. But then on the flip side of that, there's the brilliant humor in the movie. I love that the morticians are named Bert and Ernie. I think that's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
I think the mortician's probably steals the movie. I think he's probably the most fun character in the film.
By far. Absolutely.
Wait, who?
Ernie, the
Ernie.
mortician.
Yeah. One of the scenes that the first time I showed the movie to my dad, he started cackling, was when he was just like, when they released the gas, him and the kid who's like working underneath him, they accidentally released the gas onto each other, and they're like freaking out, and he's just like, stay calm if you like this job, and he's just like this job?
Why the hell would he want to work there still after seeing all this shit that's happening?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also there's like an eye doctor letter thing on the back wall that says, if you spell it out, it says something like Ernie is a slave driver on it.
I never noticed that. You just made my day. You told me something that I had no idea about.
Yeah, it's great. So much great humor in that movie.
That's awesome.
The most upsetting part of that film to me is the half-cut dog that comes alive, and then they see
the poor dogs. Yeah,
because it's alive now, or it can feel what's happening too, and like you feel so bad for the dog. You feel bad for anything that comes back as one of those things in a way.
But it's also like panting, and it's just like, it's creepy, but it's also a little bit cartoonish and a little bit sad. It's this great mixture.
My dream girl's in that movie.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Cody. What'd you say?
No, it's me, dude. I just jabbled. Go ahead.
I jabbled.
We're all good.
Yeah,
it happens.
It happens. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say that was probably one of the first instances of running zombies in a film. I'd say so. And I think it may be the birth of zombies eating brains.
It was definitely the birth of zombie eating brains. That's the first time it was ever used in any movie to describe what zombies wanted.
Yep. When did they start being zombies, though? That's what I'm curious about, because they call them ghouls in Night of the Living Dead, and before that, zombies were like the Haitian voodoo thing. When did zombies start getting applied to the flesh-eating, brain-eating creatures?
Oh,
There's always been
Like
a flesh-eating creature in mythology in every sector. Sometimes they're described as ghoulish-looking creatures with the skin slowly decaying off them, and they have to eat human flesh. You've got ghouls, which is the most common one, which is the ones that have to haunt cemeteries, dig up the dead bodies, and eat them.
Which is the word they use in Night of the Living Dead, of course. I'm just wondering when zombies became,
the modern
in
day.
cinema.
the post Romero zombies started getting called zombies.
From what I remember in an interview with Romero, it was somewhere in between Dawn of the Dead, the second film in his trilogy, that the producers, I think, kind of told him, you got to give these things a name other than ghouls or flesh eaters. You know, it's got to be a more good name. And they just said, just go with the voodoo word zombie because they are reanimated corpses. But Romero at first tried to fight that. He just wanted to call them flesh eaters or ghouls. But the producers, and it wasn't just the producers, it was even the people who watched his film started using the word zombie, and he just gave up. He's like, call them whatever you want. You know, I give up.
Yep. That's the other thing, though, because the original title for Night of the Living Dead was Night of the Flesh Eaters, and they were like, we don't like that. We want you to change it. So he changed it to Night of the Living Dead, but he forgot to put like the little watermark copyright symbol when he changed the title because they had already shot that. And that's why Night of the Living Dead is public domain. They screwed him over.
Yeah,
I saw that.
It's really a shame because it probably cost George millions and he probably resented it for years. But then you could argue that the reason why it is so popular is because it's public domain and that helped make it become iconic.
It did help the movie get exposure. They just never really got the money they deserved for what they made, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think
Exactly.
I think the remake was partially trying to get some of that money back. But yeah, go ahead.
I think I once bought like an authorized DVD that had like a fake signature of Romero on it, and I feel like he probably eventually got some money via like maybe certain special prints that were available. I feel like he probably made a little bit of money off of it eventually in time, but again, not nearly as much as if it was copyrighted.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean,
But
you guys go.
okay. Yeah, Night of the Living Dead is like, it's on YouTube half the time. Dawn of the Dead is on YouTube, and Day of the Dead. It's like no. So when you think about it, it's almost all three of those movies are kind of public domain now, like almost because you can watch them almost anywhere.
It's like most of the stuff on YouTube, you can get a lot of stuff on there that's not technically public domain.
Yeah, that's
only on YouTube.
Yeah,
I mean, we live in such an interesting technologically advanced age where media may as well be free. Like you have musical artists complaining on Spotify that they're not getting paid anything. Very, very famous artists that are getting tens of millions of plays and they're not making anything off of it, which is a shame. But where they make their money is, at least with musical artists, is touring and concerts and T-shirts and buying physical copies. And you could argue with film, it's so easy to get an illegal copy of a film to watch that these people are losing money and they're not making as much as they used to. But at the same time, I've always felt that if something is a quality product, you should buy it to support it.
That is my exact viewpoint. If it is, sometimes just for like just useful purposes and convenience, I will sometimes like watch illegal copies. When I did my Vampire Lovers there was a bootleg version of Vampire Lovers on YouTube that I used, but I also bought the Blu-ray of the movie because that is a movie I love and I want to support the people who made it and who are releasing it. And
Same. I'm a cinephile and I study film, and I've reconciled with myself. I can steal something and watch it to study it and appreciate it because I'm going to study how it was made more than most people. And then if it is a good product, I will go out and buy it and support it.
exactly.
That's 50% how I feel. I pirate a lot too, mostly because I can't afford it. But most of the films I pirate, I do review and I give back and I tell people, you should check this out. Like, I try to give back at least because I do like I do know that these guys do need to deserve money for their work, and I do buy stuff too. But it's like sometimes you just don't have the money for it.
Exactly.
I feel you on that one.
I want to be a filmmaker, and if I ever become successful, I would be okay with somebody stealing my work to study it and appreciate it, as long as they are viewing the film and appreciating it. That's the most important thing. The money comes second.
Exactly. I agree there.
Absolutely. My other thing with physical media is I like having things because as much as I love streaming services and, sometimes illegally watching movies on YouTube, if your internet goes down, you're screwed. If you have a physical copy of something, you can still watch it. That's why I like having a library of physical media.
Yeah, I used to collect religiously. I used to have 1,000 movies. Now I downgraded. I probably have 600 movies, but way too much. But
Yeah.
I still find myself, actually last night I've been watching a lot of Martin Scorsese films lately. And some of them I own, some of them I don't own. And I will pirate, and I use a program called Plex, which enables me to create a media library that I can stream from a desktop to my television, so I can watch through my stereo and have stereo sound while watching a pirated copy. But it's typically pixelated, even if it's a 1080p. So last night, I own a DVD copy of Martin Scorsese's Casino, but I have misplaced it. I couldn't find it, and it was on Amazon available to purchase. It was available to rent for $4 or to purchase for $5. I already own the movie on DVD, but I can't find it. I said, forget it. I'll just purchase it for $5. That way I have it, and it's in perfect 1080p quality, and I can actually enjoy the film.
I agree with that because some films like getting free off YouTube or like other places, it's like the problem with that is they butchered a film. There is a version of Species that YouTube put out themselves, but they took out half of the film, and it's like they took out like a good chunk of it. So you never know what you're gonna get watching like a not like DVD copy or from a trusted source.
Yeah, my other thing is I really appreciate, I know a lot of horror fans especially praise Tubi as a streaming service because of just how much stuff they have. I finally watched the vampire movie Bit on Tubi with one of my friends last weekend, which was amazing. But there were random ads in the middle of the movie, and I kept freaking out because we had like projector trouble earlier, and I was like, did it go out? Oh no, it's just commercial break.
I despise ads. I understand watching on Tubi because they have a great selection. I haven't gone through it fully, but ads really get to me to the point where I pay for YouTube Red so I don't have ads.
I get that. Yeah. I totally get that. I'm glad that I was able to watch it there and like wasn't downloading it illegally because again, ad revenue is going to be helping the filmmakers. And as far as I know, at least within the US. They haven't physically released Bit yet, which really disappoints me because that is one of my favorite horror movies to come out this year, and I want a physical copy to own of that, but I don't know if they're even releasing it.
That's when I don't feel bad for pirating, is if something is completely out of print or it's not available in my country. I feel like the people own the film. Once you make the film, it's for everybody. And if you're limiting it, you're not giving the world access to the film. You are depriving people, and people have no other option but to pirate it to see the film.
I agree.
I agree.
Like, dude, give us access. If you want us to see your film, give us a way to see your film. Like, yeah. That's
Give it
all
to
I gotta
us.
say. You know, we want it. We do. That's why we're pirating it. We're pirating
Give
it
to
out
us
of
or
love.
take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're stealing your movie because you won't give it to us. If you want us to see it,
Exactly.
I got
Just
lucky a
wait.
few years back, and I had a special DVD player that I was able to crack and make region free. I still own it, but it can only play. It's a region free DVD player. It's not region free Blu-ray, unfortunately. But I got I got a French film from England called Celine and Julie Go Boating, directed by. Oh no, I'm completely blanking. But anyway, it's a great film, and I checked out a book from the library years ago, which was Entertainment Weekly's top 100 films of all time, and Celine and Julie Go Boating was on that list, and it's a quintessential French film, and I wanted to see it, and the only way to get it, there was a VHS tape that you could get that was way out of print and very old, or there was a UK Region 2 DVD, and I lucked out that I had a region free DVD player that I got it. Jacques Rivette, that's who directed Celine and Julie Go Boating.
gotcha. I really need a region free player because there are a lot of movies that have just been released like region 2, and I think I mentioned Bit. I think that's one of those, and my friend Craig, I accidentally won his contest a while back because I didn't know I entered it. He had or still has a Facebook group, a movie group that I joined, and just by joining that group, you were entered into the contest. So without even realizing it, I won a steelbook of Wolf Cop, which he sent me. It's a really nice steelbook. I can show it to you in a second if you want. But I threw it in my Blu-ray player, and I was like, not thinking about the fact that Craig is from Australia, and this is definitely not a Region 1 disc. So it didn't play, and I was like, and I had thought that I had a region-free player for a while, just because I had a copy of the movie Imaginarium, which was from Germany. It turns out that was just a region-free disc, and that kind of tripped me up. So I do need to get a region-free player at some point, and I want to get a 4K player at some point because I have a couple of 4K movies that I'd love to see.
I'm so lucky that my girlfriend, when Taco Bell was running a promotion that if you buy like a certain type of drink or food, you could win an Xbox Series X, and she won, and we have it now, and it can play 4K discs.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
I just don't have a 4K TV or player yet. Well, no, I have the player now. But the plan is I'm actually moving in a month, so that's going to be expensive. But after that, hopefully come February or March, I'm going to upgrade to a 4K TV and hopefully a Dolby Atmos sound. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait until I get that TV.
Yeah. I hear you.
Cool.
Because there's a lot of 4Ks that I want to see. I just rewatched Scorsese's Casino, and that's a beautiful film. Apparently, the 4K of that is great. I want to see both Blade Runner films are in 4K now. Those are apparently astounding. There's a German Refn Neon Demon 4K. I'm super excited and for it, and I hope I get it soon.
I mean,
Burp.
I gotta let my cat out. Hold on.
You good?
Awkward moment of silence, and then that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Around me, there's never an awkward silence because I'm so awkward. There is no silence.
You should make that a line if you ever wrote a movie like that.
Yeah, you should get that on a T-shirt, Deacon.
Yeah. Awkward silence, my old friend.
Well, yeah, the problem is I'm trying to find all of the videos where I appear on other people's channels so I can gather up all of the burps so I can make
How do you manage that? I thought Trenchy editing the Halloween Hootenanny was an ordeal.
I'm still working on that.
I figured
Everyone
that's
has
a
to
lot
come
of
for a
hours
while.
of footage to edit.
I got 3. I think I got Deacon's. I got like 4 streams done. I got 4 full streams edited into a 40-minute video so far. 49-minute video. I got like 8 more to go. I took a break. I gotta get back on that, but
Now, take all the time you need, dude, because that's a lot of hours. That's about 14 to 15 hours worth of footage to go through.
Yep. How long did it take you to do that first 4?
like almost the whole month of November.
But when you consider the first 4 streams he's on about came to an equivalent of 5.5 hours.
And I watched each stream multiple times, while still attending other people's streams and watching other people's videos, and having kind of a life, semi-life. It was hard, but you know, I'll get it done.
It sounds like we made your job harder, doesn't it?
No, you guys know. I enjoyed watching them. They're fun. Like, they were fun to watch. It's just I have to watch them multiple times to pick out the parts I want. Then I gotta like go through, you know, cut them up into sections, of course. On a theme. It'll come out good in the end. The ending product.
Yeah, it's whatever you feel like doing, dude.
Deacon, if you want to upload it, you can. It's your.
No. As far as I'm concerned, you are making the video. You're going through all the footage. You're selecting. You're editing. So it's going up on your channel.
Can y'all hear me?
But you made that thing happen. I'm doing editing. That's, you know, it's your baby, man.
That's all right, dude. But yes, we can hear you, Neon.
All right, cool. It's a bit weird because I'm on data because some fuckers tried to knock out my internet, so I'm kind of keeping a low profile.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you told me about the nightmare you're going through. I am so sorry.
Yeah, so for anyone who has seen me on Discord, who has seen me vanish from Discord, that is the reason.
Yeah.
Nanny?
There are multitude of unsavory individuals on there.
Discord be a place of strangeness.
Yes.
I'm old, so Discord scares me.
Understandably,
I don't care around that shit.
Yeah,
I don't know how to work this.
I'll end up in nice Discords, and if it overwhelms me, I just leave that particular part of Discord.
I mean, it's not exactly a good thing to name your platform after.
True.
I mean,
Like- Oh, you go, dude.
it's like literally named after a typically unpleasant word.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like last time I was on Discord, I was in this group. I forgot what it was, and then they're like, "Hey, man, you're in our group. You should give us money." And I'm like, "No!" And then I left Discord.
Yeah, I tried migrating to this one group with some people that I had encountered, but it did not go well. It did not go well at all.
Unfortunately, Discord is very, very weird because A, anonymity, B, it functions like the darknet, and C, Discord has to ban an average of 10,000 accounts a month.
Oh God.
I did not expect that number. I mean, I kind of expected the number to be higher, but I'm impressed.
I mean, yeah. Going on a totally different tangent, Richard from Are You Into Horror is in the chat. He has an awesome channel, discusses all things horror literature for the most part, reviews a lot of books.
Ooh.
I don't know how
Oh, cool.
you have the time to read that many books. It takes me so long to read one book, but books are your thing. So,
Right.
and Carrie is the best soundtrack ever. Carrie does have an awesome soundtrack.
Who did the music for Carrie? Was it Ennio Morricone, or I'm probably completely way off base.
Maybe. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I don't recall.
Like, Carrie has an awesome score, but if we're talking soundtracks, you gotta go Lost Boys, in my opinion. Just in my opinion.
Lost Boys does have a really good soundtrack. I would have to go with Cole's earlier pick if we're talking my personal preferences for soundtrack, and definitely Return to the Living Dead. You know, bands like 45 Grave and a lot of classic punk.
I never really got into punk, but I really like proto punk and post punk. But 45 Grave has been mentioned with another band called Christian Death.
Love Christian Death. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Christian Death, but the first album, Only Theater of Pain, is a phenomenal album.
It really is. Yeah.
I have the last day that this vinyl site was selling records, I got a very cheap copy of it on vinyl. It's actually a French pressing, but it has the wrong record jacket on it. It's for a different Christian Death album, but the actual record itself is the French pressing of Only Theater of Pain. So I'm at least happy to have it, and it's from the early 80s. It's an original French pressing, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely love Christian Death. Roz Williams had a later group called Shadow Project who I really liked. They went a little bit more into heavy metal territory, and they did a cover of Dead Babies and Killer by Alice Cooper that I think is amazing. Just making it slightly more morbid than the original, which is hard to do because it's a song about dead baby.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I never heard of it. I gotta check it out. You know, Dead Babies. That's my jam, man.
Yeah.
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, check out the original Alice Cooper track and then check out the Shadow Project version.
Now I've just got pictures of Trenchy putting babies into blenders and turning them into jam and putting them on his toast.
Oh. No. Okay, I wouldn't straight up kill a baby. I've had bad experiences with babies. I'm more afraid of them killing me. I think babies are deadly, man. They're like the deadliest thing on the planet. We just don't know it yet.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
a baby could kill you, and it couldn't be charged.
Yes, it's alive. It's totally a true story. Totally true story.
Martin, getting back to his name was Ross Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had when I discovered Christian Death, I had a brief fascination with him. Anyone that's a rocker, young, and commits suicide and is openly gay, I think is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, he was an amazing person, and he was a serious artist. He destroyed a lot of the he did a lot of sort of androgynous stuff, gender bending stuff, and this really sort of hyper masculine hardcore punk culture at the time. And he was really in sort of this nihilistic state of mind. And then later in life, people found him a lot more social and likable, and that's when he killed himself. It was this sudden, rapid personality change, but it seemed to be for the better, and that was when he was in that low point in his life, which is terrifying.
Let me grab my copy of Christian Death for you because I believe it has some of his handwriting on it.
All right,
it's actually signed. I'm curious. Let me go grab it real quick.
Okay.
Jekyll, like, what are you referencing? Like, what horror they don't make like that anymore? Like, are you referencing a specific movie or genre? Like,
and also, hi, glad to have you here. Don't think I've had you guys in the chat, but it's a pleasure. Morticia is here.
because that's an interesting conversation starter right there. What he's talking about in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say this, and then I'll shut up for a few minutes because I'm talking too much as a new guest. But the album Jacket that I got for Only Theater Pain is a later Christian Death album called Atrocities. This is what it looks like. I believe this is his handwriting up here. So is this. And this is handwritten notes and thank yous of Ross Williams that he did for this particular album. I haven't listened to this album, but the vinyl itself is this is the French pressing. I think the labels on it are pretty beautiful.
They are, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's nice. But
yeah, it's a shame that it's not the actual French pressing jacket because it has alternate artwork on it that is French artwork, and it's quite beautiful. It's of like a Renaissance style painting. It's completely different than the American artwork, but I got it for such a good price, and what's important is the music, not the jacket. The jacket is important, of course, because it's part of the all-encompassing piece of art. But one day I'll get the French jacket in. But for now, I'm happy to just have the record.
I feel that. I feel that for sure. And I did not know there was alternate art for Only Theater of Pain. I've only ever seen the American release. That's actually something I'm going to need to look into.
Oh yeah, just Google Only Theater of Pain French pressing or French vinyl, and it'll pop right up.
All right. And I did look up who actually scored Carrie, and it was Pino Donaggio that did the score for Carrie.
Okay.
Composer.
does have a good score.
Yep. He also did Don't Look Now, Piranha, Tourist Trap, Dressed to Kill. Lots of movies. Lots and lots of movies.
Nice.
Another awkward silence.
I was just gonna say that.
Yep. Common occurrence here.
We will not be having silence. Not while I am here.
Anyway, yeah, just
I'll be
recently
boring
saw-
and break the silence and ask everyone the most basic question ever, and everyone can go around and answer it and talk briefly. What's your favorite movie? And if it's a horror movie, what's your favorite horror movie and your favorite non-horror movie? Why don't we start with Martin?
Ooh.
Okay, so this is an interesting question because I think my favorite movie of all time is Probably Beetlejuice. It's this really fun blend of, horror and humor. I think the comic timing in the movie is brilliant, and
Yes.
I can really relate to a lot of the characters. But I don't know if I necessarily consider that a horror movie. So I'd say my favorite horror movie is probably Nosferatu.
I knew you were going to say Nosferatu.
Yeah, absolutely love Nosferatu. And then my favorite movies that really have nothing to do with horror, at least not like they don't ever get classed as horror, would have to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy for me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's yes.
Good
For me,
answer.
Thank you. Deacon?
Ooh, for me, strict horror, it will be Nightbreed. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it's one of my favourite movies. If we're talking non-horror, then Batteries Not Included.
Okay.
Mm.
A bit whimsical.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's just one of those movies where I can sit down and watch it at least once a week if it became mandatory.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it since I was 5 years old, but now I'm interested to rewatch it. I know isn't it produced by Spielberg?
Yeah, and it's the first time where he was actually able to use micro imaging on, small images on the screen for the 3D effect for the actual aliens.
I've never heard of that effect of micro imaging before.
I'm not a special effects person.
Let me just
how-
grab James Cameron to come in and explain it.
The best way I can put it is he really blends the puppets and the animatronics in just as well as they did in the cartoons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
They just seem to really exist in that movie.
Okay. Trenchy, what's your answer?
Okay, so my favorite movie of all time is not a horror movie. I said this before. It's Goonies, man. I love Goonies. It pushes the envelope for a kids' film. I've noticed some
yes, it
things.
does.
What, Max?
Yes,
or Neon?
yes, it does.
Yeah, man, dude. The quotes
statue.
are great. Huh?
The statue, the broken
Yes,
statue.
dude.
Yeah.
The kid has the dick in his mouth for like a couple minutes. The statue penis is in his mouth, and that's like it's great. It's brilliant. He's like holding it casually in his mouth, and
Are we allowed to talk about that here?
We've gone some places like way earlier on in my streams, like the first time I just had a casual hangout stream like this, we were immediately like talking about like bondage stuff at some point, just like for a few minutes somewhere.
Oh, fun! Wish I could have been there.
yeah, I think I also brought up on one of his streams climbing up a dinosaur's ass and tickling it. So this isn't the weirdest we've gone. But on another note,
Forgotten about that.
My
for
favorite horror film. But my favorite horror film is Pet Sematary because I think that's the perfect mix of horror, in my opinion. The original, and I think that's just a perfect blend of just different types of horror to create this masterpiece, in my opinion. Okay, who's next?
Creepy Cody.
I'm next. Oh, okay. Oh my God, strictly horror for me. Oof, you come to the wrong person because I got too many favorites. I would say my favorite slasher film is probably The Strangers, the first and the second, just because I love the idea that some sociopath is just gonna randomly pick you and break into your house and kill you, for no reason. I think that's a scary thought that keeps people up, especially in this day and age with how things are going in this age. Like, I mean, come on.
What movie was it again?
Oh, in that case, I won't give Cody nightmares.
By all means, give it a try. I welcome the challenge. Please, like.
Oh no!
Don't welcome the challenge. You don't.
We'll wait until the game's over, and then we can go into it if you want to.
Yep, Deacon, bring on the nightmare fuel. But first,
oh god, are y'all gonna talk about Unfriended or something?
Sorry, what was that, Max?
I was wondering if you were gonna bring up Unfriended.
Oh.
I mean, I've not seen that one. I've heard about it.
I haven't seen it.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was. I was a bit apprehensive, but then I heard some pretty decent reviews for it, and then I watched it on a whim, and I was pleasantly surprised by the first Unfriended film.
I have heard, some pretty good things about it. I also, a few months back, I watched Host, the new Zoom horror movie. I was pleasantly surprised by that. It wasn't the most amazing thing I've seen, but considering that all of the actors were doing basically their own effects from their own homes, and none of them really met beforehand to do the movie, it was pretty impressive.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
So, like, where is it available to watch? Is it just?
It's a Shudder original, so you have to have Shudder or to rent Shudder in order to see it. I got the 7-day free trial just because I'm the horror junkie in my family, and paying for another streaming service just for my horror obsession is not going to happen right now.
Yeah, that's about the same. Like, I've got a lot of horror films that I want to see, but I'm not just gonna like pay for an entire other service just to get it.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably do a physical release of Host at some point, though. They do that with most of the popular Shudder originals show.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to talk to Cody a little bit about The Strangers, because I had an interesting experience with the first film. It came out in 2008 or something.
2008. Yes.
I forget how old I was, but I was old enough to see it in theaters. I think I was 20. And yeah, I was 20. I can't do math right now. I just got off work. So I know it's kind of based off of a foreign film called Ills. I think it's translated to Them. I think it was the inspiration for The Strangers.
Yeah.
Oh. I heard it was.
Oh. Did I see this film?
I'm just curious if anyone's heard about this or.
Yeah,
I have.
I've seen them. It's quite good.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so that's my.
I haven't seen it either. But what I wanted to say is when The Strangers came out in 2008, the reviews for it were terrible. They were some of the worst of the year that I had read, and then I still wanted to see it because I liked the trailer, and I brought a friend with me, and we both loved it. I don't understand the negative press it got, and I'm glad that years later it seems to have a pretty quiet but strong cult following.
Yeah. All right. So I just pulled up the Wikipedia article, and it says that it says in interviews, Bertino stated he was very impressed with some of the theories circulating on the internet about the true events the movie is allegedly based on. But he said that the movie was apparently based on the book Helter Skelter on the Manson family murders. That was his main inspiration in writing the script. And then it says the film's premise has been compared by some film critics to the French horror film Them, released 2 years earlier, which also features a couple terrorized by strangers in their remote homes. So there are similarities, but I don't think it was a direct inspiration to the movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go last. Neon, what are your two answers?
Well, strictly non-horror would definitely have to be like Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's like a classic. always have a special place in my heart. And I'm relatively new to the horror genre, but one of the best that I've seen so far is definitely going to be The Thing, the original, because I mean it's another classic. Like yeah, it's great.
The Howard
it's great at
Hawks
building
production.
tension. I believe so. The John Carpenter.
Oh, the John Carpenter film. Okay.
Yeah.
The original.
Yep. The Thing from Another World is also a fantastic movie, but
I'll have to check it out.
yep. And Carpenter obviously has a lot of love for that movie. The kids in the original Halloween are watching that in the room, and which is why I think in Rob Zombie's remake, the kids should have been watching John Carpenter's The Thing on the TV. It would have been perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, that's funny that we get 2 votes for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, me and Neon have known each other for a while, and I think Tolkien was the things we kind of bonded over. So
yes, and before I had watched the Lord of the Rings, like when I was a kid, one of my favorites was the Rankin and Bass Hobbit movies. Or movie. There was only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they also made that. After that, they did their animated version of Return of the King, which I watched, which is a trip because it's Return of the King, which is this dark, intense story, but they're doing it in the same style as their version of The Hobbit, and it's weird because they're singing and stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know song is a part of a lot of Tolkien's work, but there are times for it and times for it to not.
Yeah, the orcs are singing as they're getting whipped across Mordor about not wanting to be whipped across Mordor.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, the song's actually really catchy though, and it has like this disco element to it, which is so out of place.
Yes.
But Martin and Neon, what are your favorite films within the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Ooh, that's hard because they don't really work without each other. It's hard to say. I feel like Return of the King has the most things going on. I do like Two Towers though, just because. I think if I had to pick one movie to watch by itself, it would probably be Return of the King. But I love each movie for different reasons. Return of the King just kind of wraps up the story, and we get the satisfying conclusion to each character's different thing. So if I had to pick one to just watch by itself, but I really can't. They are all part of one story.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess I'll go, and we'll finish, and we can talk about something else.
Sure.
I have 3 answers because I can't choose what my favorite horror movie is, but my 2 favorite films are tied for completely different reasons. But my 2 favorite films are both horror films, and it's John Carpenter's Halloween and Kubrick's The Shining. And I have such a personal relationship to both films because I saw them at such a young age. I saw Halloween. I actually have a scar on my. I have an older brother who's almost 7 years older than me, and I was born in the late '80s, and he was born in the early '80s. But he exposed me to a lot of music and film at a very young age. And when I was 8 years old, he drew a little sketch of Michael Myers' mask. And I don't know if you saw in the chat, but my parents got me a Universal Monsters coloring book when I was 5 or 6 years old. And that hooked me on monsters and horror. And my brother would talk about this film, Halloween, and Michael Myers. And it was so mythical to me at such a young age. When I saw it was coming on television one day, I was so excited that I started running around and jumping around the house as a little kid.
Oh no.
And we had a pull-up bar installed in a door frame, and I jumped up and I hit it in stupid kid fashion because I was so excited. I split my finger open
Oh Jesus!
on a razor sharp piece of metal that was sticking out.
Oh shit!
And I had to go
Oh,
to the
God.
hospital and get stitches, and I missed half of the movie.
Oh,
That's
But I think it came on later that week or month, and I saw it, and I fell in love. And when Lori doesn't have the keys, trying to get into the house, and Michael is slowly but surely impending death, walking towards her. I think that's the closest thing that an 8-year-old can have to a panic attack. And it always stuck with me, and I thought it was a beautiful film, and it always stuck with me. I'll try to hurry up because I'm talking too much.
That's cool.
You're good.
And
I'm enjoying it.
The Shining is funny because my oldest brother was in high school, and back in the 90s, they used to teach a class called Great Books in Film. And he had to do a report on The Shining, and my mother rented a VHS copy of The Shining from the local movie rental store, and I was there with them when they rented it, but I wasn't allowed to watch it. They wouldn't let me into the room. So I didn't see it for another 2 years later. Luckily, we had cable television, and we had HBO and Cinemax, and it came on. And I was probably 10 or 11 years old when I first saw The Shining, and it not only stuck with me, it helped solidify my love of film and an ongoing obsession with Stanley Kubrick. And it has just always stuck with me. I've probably seen the film 30 times. But anyway, my favorite non-horror movie is probably Goodfellas. I saw Goodfellas when I was 13 or 14, and I thought it was really good. And then I saw it a couple more times over the years, and I thought it was a great film. And then probably in my late 20s, I got the Blu-ray, and I watched it once, and then I put it on again, and then I put it on again, and then I put it on again, and I'm like, okay, this is a great film. But I love so many different films. I love the first two Alien films. I think the first Alien film by Ridley Scott is a work of art.
It is.
I haven't seen the first one yet.
I think it's a beautiful film. I think it's beautifully shot and crafted. But I'm also a big fan of Aliens, so much that I just got this special T-shirt in.
Oh, awesome!
Oh, dang!
In there. It was a rare out of print shirt from Fright Rags that I had to go to eBay to get, but I'd wanted it for so long. But anyway, that's my answer. We can move on.
Before we move on, Cody never said his non-horror favorite film, and I don't think that's fair to him to move on without that.
Yeah.
Okay. My non-favorite horror film would have to be Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film, because I related to the character so much. Because I was born with a form of autism, so my brain is kind of different from other people in a sense. And
I get that.
Some people don't respect me as a human being, even though I am still human, despite me having a mental deficiency. And I'm not going to lie, there have been times where I've been where Arthur's been, mentally speaking. I've just haven't always been supported enough mentally and emotionally. And so I related to him. You know, obviously I would never do what he did at the end.
Right.
Obviously not. Thank God. But, you know, sometimes I think as human beings, we all want to let out our aggression sometimes when the world is just hitting us so hard. And we just don't know what to do about it. But it was a beautiful film, and it's one of a kind, in my opinion.
Agree.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah.
And it's a nice thriller.
I know that
Exactly.
a lot of people try to compare like Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker, but like honestly, they're two entirely different characters. Like they shouldn't be compared to one another.
Yeah, because
I don't even see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker as a Joker film. I just see it as a guy that happens to take up the Joker mantle. Yes, but I don't even count that really as a Joker film because
Right.
it's more about Arthur Fleck than it is about the Joker.
Exactly.
I see that. I do see some DNA of the character that becomes the Joker in there, and I do see it personally just as a Joker film in some ways, but a very different take. And I agree with what Cody says. And that's what a lot of my favorite stories do is they take a character that you like deeply relate with and just send them on this downward spiral to the point that they're like in this horrible place at the end where they're just like, should I even be relating to this character anymore? And the fact that the movie can take you to that place, I think, is amazing.
Simple fact that people can relate to that character just because of who he is. And yes, we have RD Zombie saying, don't think like that, you don't think that you're
don't think like that. You're respected as a human just as much as everybody else, bro.
Yeah, my
Is that towards me? Or towards everybody?
Yeah, that's for you, Cody.
Yes, for you.
Oh, thank you, Zombie. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
And hello,
and the
John.
people.
Yeah, they're nice people.
That treat you like that are bullshit. They don't deserve to be human beings. Just say. Sorry, Deacon.
No, it's all right. There are people here who have all sorts of different conditions. My condition is, unless I'm heavily sedated every day, I don't sleep.
I don't either.
Damn.
Yeah, I've got trouble with sleep too. I take a sleeping aid every night. I'm not trying to. I'm sure my sleep issue is much less severe than yours, Deacon.
Oh no, it's just it's fine. It's just when people find out the maximum number of days I've stayed awake, they sit there and go, "What the f is wrong with you?" Because the most I've managed so far is 9 days straight.
And you're alive.
Yeah, you can technically go on for a lot longer. The longest someone's gone is 11 days.
I wouldn't say that's a lot longer. I think you were getting pretty close.
Getting pretty close.
Away, dude, that's not that much longer.
It's like, dude, you almost broke the record. Thank God you didn't, because who knows what would have happened, but you were like right there. Man.
Yeah.
You can outlast Freddy. You know, you could fly through the film. He would never get you.
Yep. Deacon versus Freddy. Deacon 1, Freddy 0.
You finally fall asleep. Freddy sitting there, like, pointing at his watch, like, motherfucker, you're late, bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah. He just comes in and he's just like, I've waited so long for this that the victory isn't even worth it anymore. Painful.
I've been waiting 9 days. Where have you been?
He's just been sitting there staring at the floor, dejected the whole time.
Can you just imagine Freddy playing solitaire in my dream realm? Just waiting.
Just waiting.
Deacon, John has a question for you.
Ah, yes. What is it? What is it?
He's asking if you'll do a 24-hour stream, which I don't recommend.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
Don't do that, bro.
Yeah, he's actually done it.
I haven't done a 24-hour stream, but I have done 24 hours in various other people's streams.
Well, so you
were there with me for a while, man.
Yeah, I was there until the last 10 minutes of Anthro's after party, and that was it.
Yeah, you were there for the after party, yeah. And yeah, I was there for part of your 24-hour stream as well. That was definitely a crazy stream because you just had different people in and out constantly, and I was just like, I just woke up that morning and I had worked on a video and I was just chilling and I was just like, you're still here, Trenchy? How long have you been streaming? I didn't know you were trying to do the 24-hour stream thing, so I just jumped on for a minute and I was just like, the hell with it. I'll show off part of my room. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
that was the...
I didn't plan that.
I love your room
I ain't planned
tour.
that.
That's one of my favorite videos of yours, Martin.
Oh, thank you. I had fun doing the room tour. I love watching other people's room tours, so I figured I'd show mine.
Mine's off
I'll be right
limits.
back.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sounds
I got
like what
paper
Mario
cuts in
just
there for you don't need to see.
oh, sorry, Neon.
Sounds like my audio just went through a wood chipper.
Oh. Christopher, rate it.
Now it sounds like an atom bomb just went off.
That was more of a thing.
That was an itty bitty.
Yeah, dude, that wasn't anything.
John, I am not doing a 24-hour stream. I need my beauty sleep at some point.
Well,
We
John
should
did
do-
it.
You got to remember, Anthro needs to go back to his coffin before the sun rises.
We should do one of those weird commercial streams. I have found a multitude of those.
Yeah.
We should do like a little baby's ice cream commercial compilation stream.
Yes. Yep. We should start. We're with the panda cheese again, like we watched on your stream, and then move
Panda
on
cheese
and
is
get weirder
amazing.
from there.
Trust me,
Martin, you're
they're-
so young. Staying up for 24 hours straight should be like no problem for you at all.
I wish, but no. I get really tired really easily.
Yeah.
If you change your
Yeah,
mind, I'll be your fucking goose, man. I'll be your sidekick. I'll be your Chewbacca.
Oh, we could even do a 24-hour stream on my channel when Anthro could be my partner for 8 hours of it.
I would be willing to join that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could even do 8 hours though.
Oh, I'll be right back. My doggies look at me saying, I need to go outside.
You're never supposed to say, I'll be right back. That's a death sentence.
You're gonna die, dude. Once you said that, you're gone.
Oh god, it's
Scream,
beginning.
I'll be right back.
Uh-huh.
And he goes out the door.
Now he said it. Now that dude's gonna end up getting.
Yeah.
We're all
Beginning.
boned.
That's another thing. Thoughts on the Scream movies? Because I love all 4 of them personally. I think some of them are better than others, but I don't think there's a bad entry in the franchise personally.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Please
I
don't
agree.
spoil anything. Please don't spoil
I just
anything.
kind of wish. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah,
Can
my
you
bad.
say what you were going to say, still without spoiling?
Oh, without spoiling.
Yeah.
I love all 4, just like you. It's just, I just wish they did something a little different for once, and maybe even have a different ending in mind than they usually. Because it always ends with the killer being revealed, right? In every film.
Yeah.
I want a Scream entry where after all the hell that Sydney or whoever's been through, that we still don't know who it is. You know, I would love an ending like that where it's just completely ambiguous and you still don't have the answers to who this person is or why they're doing it. And it could go anywhere at that point, in my opinion.
Like
All
they
right.
just leave. Like they just disappear, like a Michael Myers shit, right? Like they beat him, but the person disappears.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. Or maybe like a Stranger's Formula where she doesn't even know who the person is. She has no connection to this person. And you don't ever get any answers.
I mean, Sydney is nationally famous for what she's survived. I mean, it could just be a complete stranger to her.
Exactly. So I love that. Let's go with that for once.
Yeah.
You know.
I just really hope they don't kill Sydney off in Scream 5. I'm really hoping they don't go there.
Yep. Don't kill her off, and please don't make her the killer either. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I
Do you
I
guys,
heard a theory. I don't know if you guys want to hear about it, but
go ahead.
They're rumoring bringing back Drew Barrymore and like Matthew Lillard and Skeet, and it's like weird because how would that work? But what if they did a new Nightmare route and was Nev Campbell and all of them are filming a new Scream movie, and they start getting pissed off in real life,
Okay.
like a new
That-
night joint.
That's very meta, but I love that idea.
Well, yeah,
Well, Scream started the meta-ness. Scream was like
Scream
king
is
meta.
meta slasher.
Scream is meta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Scream film is meta.
Mhm.
But let's make it even more meta.
Right, exactly. I'm just kind of wondering where they're gonna go with it next, because the first movie is just making fun of, or sort of riffing on the tropes of slasher movies. Then the second one is making fun of sequels. The third one is talking about trilogies, and the fourth one's talking about reboots and remakes. So I'm wondering if the new Scream is gonna do talk about retcons and that sort of thing, like what they did with Halloween 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely.
That's the only route I can think of that they haven't gone yet.
Neon, you said you're new to horror. Have you seen Scream yet?
I have not. Call me a heretic, but I have not.
Oh no, it's
Dude,
fine.
you're not a heretic.
So many iconic movies I still need to see.
We all have our blind spot.
Exactly.
We all have a blind spot.
I mean, the biggest horror movies that I've seen so far would have to be Aliens, The Shining, The Thing, and The Blair Witch Project. That one's a good one.
You're good with me, dude. You're good with me. Those are great ones to see, man.
Those
For sure.
are
I don't
great
see a
films to
problem
see.
with that.
Those are definitely some genre-defining ones. So good choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second Blair Witch Project movie, but I've heard it's not good.
I've heard it's fun. I've heard it's fun, at least.
It's a mixed bag. I think there's some fun in it. It's kind of incoherent. It's kind of a mess. It got the producers got a hold of it and recut the film dramatically, and we will never see what it was originally supposed to be. But
That's a shame.
if you really like the Blair Witch Project, I think it's an interesting film because it's a meta. It's kind of a meta take on Blair Witch a little bit. It's very a film of its time. It's definitely a late '90s, early 2000s MTV like film.
Yeah. Cloverfield's another one that I've seen.
Cloverfield's good. Cloverfield's
Yes.
sort of a really nice blend of the kaiju and the found footage thing.
I saw
Yes.
I saw Cloverfield at a very inexpensive theater that was built in the 40s, and it's one screen movie theater, and it's like an old style movie theater, a beautiful theater. It's still there, but I saw that the day Heath Ledger died.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which was brutal
That's
because
crazy.
I love Brokeback Mountain, and I thought he did phenomenally in it.
I haven't seen Brokeback, but I love Ledger and 10 Things I Hate About You, A Knight's Tale, Dark Knight, of course. He's a magnificent actor. Well,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
magnificent.
Before his time.
Yep. I know he was, or he had filmed part of Terry Gilliam's Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus at the time, which is another great film. But what they ended up doing after he passed was having other actors every time he goes into the Imaginarium playing his character. So Johnny Depp's in there, and who else did they get for that? I'm trying to remember.
Jude? I think one of the actors was named Jude something.
Jude Law. Jude Law was in there, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was a good way of paying tribute to him.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. I've never seen the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, but I've definitely heard about it because of Ledger's death. And coming from such a strange filmmaker like Terry Gilliam, I thought that was a clever way to write it into the film.
Yeah. And the film also features Tom Waits playing Satan, so that's always a plus.
I gotta see this movie.
Yes, you do.
I've
My
seen it.
mother saw my mom lived in Queens, New York City in the 70s, and Tom Waits was performing at a small venue, and my mom said she like sat 5 feet away from Tom Waits when he was playing.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't seen the first Cloverfield. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane, but that's the only Cloverfield movie I've seen, to be, frank.
First Cloverfield was really good, and it got me in ways I didn't think it would. I just expected, this is a found footage movie with a giant monster in it. And then I didn't realize that there were going to be tiny monsters as well. And there is a scene that I'm not going to spoil, but there's some body horror that I was not expecting, and they filmed it in a way that I thought was really smart. And it
yeah, I remember that part. I think that part traumatized me.
Yeah.
It's
I'm so.
Yes, Amos. Tom Waits' voice is perfect for the devil.
But yeah, going off the Heath Ledger thing, very, very underrated actor in my opinion. I think everybody talks about the Joker, but he's brilliant. And before that, he's done a lot of great movies.
For sure.
A Knight's Tale is a really good comedy that's underrated. Very funny movie.
I like that one.
That is a really good movie.
If you haven't seen Brokeback Mountain, I would definitely recommend it because it is a different turn for Heath Ledger. It's definitely a more subtle, cold performance, but it's also beautiful and heartbreaking. So I would recommend the film.
I'll definitely do it. Yeah, going back to A Knight's Tale, I love that it's a period piece, but there's so much like modern music in it that's just like incorporated into the film, and it's just like nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. We Will Rock You. What's that doing in the medieval times? That song hasn't even been invented yet.
Yeah, We Will Rock You at the beginning of the movie with everyone chanting along to it in so wonderful.
I gotta see that.
Yeah. It's great.
I've never seen it, but it definitely has its fans.
Yeah. What about its bizarre cousin, the Cloverfield Paradox?
Oh, we're talking Cloverfield now?
I don't know. I lost conversation.
I'm sorry. We had sort of moved on to A Knight's Tale, but we can talk about Cloverfield some more.
Knight's Tale.
Oh, I haven't seen Paradox, so I can't. I've only seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I believe is a masterpiece.
Yep, and I've only seen the original Cloverfield, so.
A Knight's Tale reminds me of a film I loved when I was a child, but I haven't seen it in 20 years. It's a Richard Gere film called First Night.
And wait, is that the one with Martin Lawrence?
No. I think that one's Black Knight.
Black Knight. My bad.
Comedy film. That's like a twist on a kid in King Arthur's Court or something, where he gets transported back in time. First Night is a strictly period piece during medieval times, and I don't remember much about it, but I found it incredibly romantic and endearing when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it in 20 years. But that's when people talk about A Knight's Tale, that's the film that comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen that one. That's the one, I think, was it Sean Connery in it? And they did this sword trick. There was this guy he could disarm people. Yeah. Dude, that's an awesome movie, man. Underrated.
I've never heard people talk about it. I literally forgot about it until right now. I just found the film incredibly romantic when I was a child.
I rented it out of a library and I watched it. I'm like, this is some good shit. Like it was it was cool. It was a really good period piece with good sword fighting.
Yeah. I also loved, which was kind of medieval but magic. I loved Willow when I was a kid.
I love
Yeah.
Willow. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Loved
Yeah.
it.
I thought the villain with the skull mask was like the most badass thing ever.
What, Deacon?
Was.
I just said I love Willow the movie. I just, as people know, I probably have a problem with the actor.
Yeah. I mean, fuck that leprechaun bitch. But
It took me a long time to even realize, holy shit, that's the freaking leprechaun that's in that freaking movie. You know, like that sounds stupid coming from me, I know, but I'm like, it took me a while to warp my brain around that.
Dude, you're good because when people bring him up, I've seen like people bring up Warwick Davis and they're like, yeah, he's the guy he's Flitwick from Harry Potter, and I'm like, dude, that's Leprechaun. Don't open up with he's the dude from Harry Potter. He has barely anything to do in those films. Like, bring up Willow or Leprechaun, man. Like, come on.
It depends on what you're introduced to first. If you watch the Leprechaun first, then you watch Willow, or vice versa. You're not going to really know it's him because he's covered in makeup and he's trying to put on a very bizarre Americanized Irish accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to call out Artie Zombie's comment. He said, "Did anyone else cop some Fright Rags gear on their Black Friday sale?" I did not. I'm moving, so I don't have the money right now. But I'm wearing a Fright Rag shirt right now that's out of print. But there's currently two Fright Rag shirt I really want. One is there's a glow in the dark Halloween shirt with Michael Myers appearing in the background of Jamie Lee Curtis, and in the dark his face glows up. I really want that one, and I want the Slumber Party Massacre 2 shirt that has the girl lowering her sunglasses and giving kind of a sexy look, and you can see the killer in the sunglasses. I really want those two shirts. So
that's awesome.
Probably gonna miss the Black Friday sale, but I'm still hoping to get those two at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking around at Black Friday sales, the different things we're doing, and I was looking at the Phantasm page on Facebook, and they are selling replicas of the hammer that the weird fixed up hammer that Mike uses in the first movie to break out of his room, which is the weirdest thing to sell. That
is a weird prop to sell.
Yeah. But they're like signed replicas of the hammer with so weird.
I've only seen Phantasm 1, 2, and I've seen 3 broken up in parts on streams on Shudder. So I've seen the first 3 basically, and the first one is still my favorite.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't really get Phantasm the first time I watched it. It's just such a weird movie. I was expecting a lot more out of it, given how much it was hyped up.
Me too.
But, yeah, every time I watch it, I like it a lot more, and I appreciate it for the weirdness that it is.
Same, especially since it was directed. Don Coscarelli was so young when he directed it.
Absolutely. And
I've only seen the first Phantasm, but I really enjoyed the film. I think it's a fun, surreal experience, and I will check out the sequels eventually. But I'm fine with just seeing the one film. I think it's a very contained. I think it can be a contained story.
It does.
I agree.
It works perfectly as its own self-contained story. To be honest, for me, Phantasm 2, I was expecting a lot more out of it because I know a lot of people are like, "That's my favorite Phantasm movie," or "That's my favorite Phantasm sequel."
Yeah.
But it feels so uninspired, and a lot of that is Universal's fault because they were just like, Don Coscarelli, you cannot do this, and there has to be a love story, and he was just like, "Okay, I guess I'll, color by numbers by whatever Universal wants me to do, and he did a good job. It just feels really derivative of other things that aren't Phantasm and kind of weird.
I agree. A lot of people say Phantasm 2 is their favorite, and when I watched it, I'll be honest, I was a little let down.
Yeah, me too. It has good things going for it. I like the character of the priest who's like trying to fight with the tall man, and the lines, "You think when you die you go to heaven, you come to us." That is my favorite part of Phantasm 2, probably. Phantasm 3 for me, though, takes a lot of that road trip aspect of Phantasm 2 and brings a lot of the weird from Phantasm 1 back into it in a way that I like, and brings a Michael Baldwin back.
That's a major reason why I don't like Phantasm 2 is because he isn't in the film.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love the series for doing something original for once and not a slasher thing, really. You know, like it's hard to say what's going on in Phantasm because that's the point. It's kind of beyond your ability of understanding. All we know is that this dude's like from another dimension or something, and he apparently has the ability to make dead people serve him or something like that. And what is his end game? What does he want? And is like, we may never know. You know, that's kind of the thing. And I love that.
Yeah. It's what makes him an eldritch horror.
Yeah, it's kind of that
exactly.
horror of Cthulhu. Yeah, that sort of thing. I did sort of a video essay on all the Phantasm movies for Halloween. That was my thing that I did this year. But for that, I decided to. My sort of angle with that is I see the tall man as a metaphor for death itself. I feel like that's what the Phantasm movies really are about at their core, is trying to cope with death. Because throughout Phantasm 1, by the end of it, we're like, did all of this actually happen, or is Mike just trying to cope with the fact that Jody isn't around anymore?
Yeah,
don't know.
And in Phantasm 2, the idea of the tall man going from town to town and just completely wiping everyone out he's almost like a plague.
Exactly. He becomes a plague by 2 and 3. And by 4 and 5, it is on a global scale. In Phantasm 5, the entire world is like in this apocalyptic state where it's just been completely taken over by the tall man, and there's like this post-apocalyptic stuff going on. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does this cool role reversal of Reggie and Mike, where Reggie is like fighting the tall man, and then he wakes up in a mental hospital, and he's told that he has dementia, and that he's the one who's now trying to cope with Jody's death, and Mike's taking care of him, and we don't know what's real anymore. So it's this interesting role reversal from the original film.
You said that was the 5th film?
That's the 5th film. That's Ravager.
Okay.
When it comes to the tall man, his goals, his ambitions, his design, his minions, he's definitely the antagonist. You can turn around and say, yeah, he's got some big steel balls on his side.
Yes, he does. And the whole idea of the spheres is just a thing that Don Coscarelli, like, that was a childhood nightmare of his. So he was like, all right, I'll put this in a movie. This should scare people.
Wait, he had a nightmare of being chased by giant metal balls?
Yes.
Because I'm like,
yeah, he had nightmares about being chased by metal balls with blades that came out of them. That was his childhood nightmare.
That seems perfectly normal. That works.
Yeah, it's in the realm of normality. It's nowhere near Lovecraft bad dream scenarios.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'd be afraid of being cut up by giant metal balls too. You know, dodgeball is a crazy sport. You know.
I mean, those metal spheres are iconic. I knew about them years before I ever saw Phantasm.
Same.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're the distinctive image from Phantasm. If you think of Phantasm, you're going to think of the spheres before you think of anything else usually.
Yeah, if you see someone walking around with a gigantic metal ball bearing, you don't think, oh, they're going to be fitting that into a gigantic pipe. You think, are they cosplaying something from Phantasm?
Or Doctor Who?
Yeah, or Doctor Who.
Or Doctor Who. I am actually considering trying to go as the tall man for Halloween next year. I think that would be fun.
Nice.
Do it. Do
Get
it.
a nice thin fitting suit.
Yeah, nice thin fitting suit. Probably do some old age makeup, maybe a gray wig.
Get an old, get a gerbil exercise ball, spray paint it silver.
Something like that. Yeah.
My
Cool.
plan for Halloween is like not doable.
What was your one thing you wanted to do?
The penitent one from the game Blasphemous, like
Mhm.
really highly detailed, and also a really, really impractical headgear.
That's fair.
If anyone has seen it,
No.
I'll have to check it out, but
I haven't seen it, but I've watched enough animes for that to know that, yeah, sometimes headgears that they designed for characters are ludicrously shaped and unpractical.
dude has like a dude's helmet keeps him from going through doorways, probably.
for sure.
But Martin, for your Halloween costume, all you got to do is walk around in your suit and keep saying "boy."
Exactly.
Boy.
Like,
Whoa.
if you see like a little toddler kid right beside you, just lean in against his face and just say "boy" with the ball in your hand. And just,
Yeah.
You'll traumatize them, but
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah,
goal.
and I need to find someone and sneak up on them and put my hand on their shoulder and be like, "The funeral is about to begin, sir."
Sir,
Oh, and
I love
just
that he's
like
polite.
hopefully you don't get maced.
Say that again, Trinity.
I said, hopefully you don't get maced, and be careful about approaching small children. I've been in this experience on Halloween because I like scaring small children. People don't see things like that as innocent. Sometimes they think other things.
Right.
See, I would dare him to walk around with a life-sized fake coffin, so he can literally say, "It's your funeral as well."
Yeah. Just carrying like a coffin and being like, I forgot where I parked the hearse.
Like Count Olaf style.
Orlok.
Yeah, Orlok.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Olaf. I don't know why. I don't know why.
You've got a series of unfortunate events on the brain because that's what our lives have turned into.
A string of series of unfortunate events. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, which is true.
Martin, have you seen Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, Vampire der Nacht?
I have. I've got a disc in there with both the German version and the English language version, both of which are really good. I really enjoy it. The ending is definitely slightly different. It's a strange one, but I do like the angle he took on the story.
Yeah. The ending to the film always leaves me a little cold, but overall, I think there's some great beauty in it.
For sure, it's one of the better horror remakes, in my opinion.
Yeah, and how it portrays Nosferatu bringing the plague with the rats is quite disturbing and beautiful at the same time.
Exactly. He's another one of those characters who really is very deliberately an embodiment of the plague. He's among the rats, very rat-like.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is almost the Grim Squeaker.
Yeah.
Terry Pratchett reference.
Terry Pratchett.
Martin, can I propose a question?
Kitty.
Kitty.
Aw.
Her name's Ham.
Nice.
Hello, Ham.
Oh, hello, Ham. But
Oh,
Trinity,
I gotta get it. She's sleeping.
Good thing. Aw. You can pose your question, Trenchy, but after that, it is getting kind of late here, and I'm kind of tired, and I may have to end the stream. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no problem, dude. No, I was just gonna ask what everybody's dream, like, if they could do any costume for Halloween, what would they do? That's
That's hard. I have on the topic of Nosferatu, always wanted to do a Count Orlok costume, but I don't really have the. My hair's gotten too long to really pull that off in a really good way at this point. So maybe, I don't know. Yeah, probably not Count Orlok at this point, but a really good, detailed, creepy Count Orlok makeup would be wonderful to try out at some point.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do for the nails? Like when you grow your long fingernails or anything like that?
It would definitely have to be a makeup because I do the guitar thing, and those fingernails are going to mess with me.
Yeah, I actually had quite long fingernails a few months ago, and I love having nails, but I can't play guitar with long nails, and I want to get back into playing guitar. So that's so funny that you said that's actually the reason why I cut them. Plus, I was starting a new job, but.
Yeah, that's my thing. One of my friends the other night was like offering to give me like fake black long fingernails to wear if I just feel like having long fingernails sometimes, which would be nice. Yep.
Are we saying money's no object, and it's kind of like, yes, I would cosplay it if I could make it and get it all together?
I presume, Trenchy, this is just your dream costume. Anything goes. Basically,
anything goes, exactly.
Okay, in that case, I would love to cosplay as the suit of armor that is controlled by a goblin in the labyrinth.
All humongous, yeah.
With the helmet missing, so you just see the goblin moving around. I'm in the suit.
That would be fun. That would be really fun.
Awesome.
That's my dream cosplay if money was no object.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a Labyrinth comic book that was written for Valentine's Day where Hoggle is trying to find a date, and the worm tells him to go up to Humongous and to insult him, and tells him that that's how he's going to get a date. And the worm's rationale for that is that Humongous will then chop him in half, and then his lower half will grow a new head, and then he will have a date for Valentine's Day. Because he's like, it worked with me, but I'm a worm.
That's quite cool, actually.
It was a cute comic. The worm's name is William, and he actually does have a missus living in the wall with him.
If only humans worked that way. I'm lonely. I need a partner. Let's cut myself in half, and there we go.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Trenchy?
I got two. I would either do like Carnage from Spider-Man, but actually have it be like gelatin. I think that would be cool.
Well,
or I've been really feeling the Grave Robber from Repo lately.
Hell yeah. I think I will do Grave Robber as a costume at some point as well. Grave Robber would be amazing.
Dude, you got the physique for it. You definitely got the physique. You could pull off a good Grave Robber, or you could pull off a good Riff Raff.
Riff Raff and Grave Robber have got a similar thing going on as well.
If you're going to do that, then I do recommend that you do a lip sync of Zydrate.
Yeah, if you for sure.
Is everyone here a Rocky Horror fan?
I am definitely a Rocky Horror fan.
I think so. Tim Curry.
Have you ever been to a performance, a screening?
Quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Yeah, I've been to one. Yeah, it was really fun, but the sad part of it was that right after the screening, like I was just hanging out with my friends, waiting for us to get picked up, and there was like this really horrible wreck where someone died right next to the theater, and like
oh damn!
the shadow cast for the film were leaving, and they actually rushed out to help the guy. It was that close to the theater. It was intense.
Damn.
Oh, that's awful.
God.
Yeah, so that kind of ruined the experience for us. But then months and months later, our friends got together and we watched Rocky Horror just in one of our houses together, and that was a much better experience.
Mm-hmm. I definitely would like to check out a Rocky screening and a Repo screening because I know they do those too.
My mom went to the original Rocky Horror screenings in Manhattan when they first started doing the midnight shows, so she got me into it.
Nice.
What about you, Cody?
Yes, Cody, your Halloween costume.
You saw that? Yeah, that's an original character that you're referring to for a theme called Slash, who has the goalie mask and the jumpsuit and the chainsaw. I would love it if I can go to Comic-Con dressed like that, especially if I could find ways to make the costume even better. You know, like maybe give some fake blood and all that on my jumpsuit and stuff. But I don't know. I kind of suck at cosplays, if I'm being fully honest with you. So I'm probably doing it very kid-like, not the way a professional cosplayer probably does it. But we learn from failure, as they say.
Yeah, just have fun with it. That's the half of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hunting for the materials is the hell of it because I barely have any money to my name. So I have to get my dad, who loves to go to these clothing stores, to sort of like, let's hunt for this particular whatever that and hope that they have it. You know,
I've gotten many a Halloween costume on the cheap at Goodwill. Goodwill is a great place to get Halloween costumes.
Definitely.
Yeah, sometimes it's actually someone's real wardrobe.
Excuse me.
Awkward silence when that happens.
Yeah.
Like,
breaking awkward silence for sure. What about you, Maddie? What would your dream Halloween costume be?
Oh God. I'll say it in a minute, but I've been so many that actually this year I was sick. I kind of missed Halloween this year, unfortunately. But to me, Halloween is every day.
Of course.
But it's my favorite holiday, and it's a shame I missed it this year. But I just skipped right to Christmas. But anyway, I have a John Carpenter replica Halloween pumpkin on my mantle that's there year round. So it's never not Halloween in my household. But anyway, I've been so many things. I've been the female artist LaRue. I've been Travis from Taxi Driver. I've been Alex from A Clockwork Orange. I've been Leatherface. I've been so many things, but if I would do one, I've never been Michael Myers. I just wanted to be Michael Myers. I'm fascinated with the way that Nick Castle moves and walks in the first film. And I think the closest we've gotten is the James Jude Courtney performance in Halloween 2018. The way he moves is quite impressive. So I'd either go as Michael or I'd go as Laurie because I have the hair.
That would be awesome.
And get a cut shirt and put some fake blood on it or something.
Yep, just walk around with a clothes hanger. Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Neon?
Trevor fucking Belmont.
Oh yeah.
Trevor Belmont. I don't blame you.
I'm admittedly behind on that show, but like it's great.
It really is. I mean, for me, my favorite characters on that are probably Alucard, Carmilla, of course, and then who's the Viking vampire who wants to just have sex with things killed? Yes, he just kills things, has sex with things, or makes boats out of things. That's all he does.
Of course
What
he
is
makes sports
this?
out of things. He's a
This is
Viking.
Castlevania, the animated Castlevania series.
Okay.
Really, really fun.
Really
is.
recommend it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I
the
gotta check
Castlevania.
it out.
Yeah, if you've got Netflix, it's on Netflix. Please.
What's it
binge
called again? What's it
Uh,
called?
Castlevania.
Castlevania. It's based
Oh,
on,
it's just
on the
Castlevania.
video
Okay.
games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based off the video games, but it definitely is a lot better than the video games when it comes to
Story
story.
wise, it's a lot
Yeah.
more fleshed out. And, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot more coherent.
hmm
You don't find stuff by smashing a wall.
I mean, I haven't seen it all the way, but I haven't seen any like dinosaur with skin peeling off the face yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You're in for a treat.
Oh boy, that one.
Season 3 gets really crazy, really
Oh
fast.
boy.
Oh yeah, I
Does
like
the
it.
Bello show up?
It's my boat. Out of all 3 seasons of Castlevania, season 3 is the one that I like to binge the most.
Season 2 is probably my favorite, just because, again, damn it, what's the Viking character's name again?
Godbrand.
Godbrand. He is in that. He is amazing. He is hilarious.
He
And
is.
that is the scene where we get to see the most of Carmilla getting really angry. And the thing I love the most about the show is it's a period piece, but everyone cusses like a sailor at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
but I do like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do like the description that one of the vampires gives to Godbrand, which is if you can't fight it and if you can't fuck it, all you want to do is turn it to canoe.
yeah, and he's just like, I'm a Viking. We make boats out of things.
That and the banter between Alucard and Trevor when Cypher walks away.
Yeah.
We're not children.
Yeah. Have you seen any of season 3 yet?
I have not. I'm
Oh,
like mid season 2.
I don't want to totally spoil it for you, but Alucard at the very beginning of the first episode has puppets of Trevor and Sypha that he talks to when he's lonely, and he does their voices.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
It's great, and he's totally like making fun of them in the best way possible. But you can tell that he's really lonely.
Yeah, he does a whole Wilson from
Castaway.
yeah, that, where he treats the puppets just like them. It's kind of like, no, you will do this. Oh no, you got damaged. You have to watch it. It's absolutely lovely and
It's
perfect.
amazing.
I do not want to give you any more lines because it's awesome.
I will check it out eventually.
For
It's
sure.
on my radar now.
All right. I'm probably going to want to leave shortly. It's getting really late, but before that, my friend Amos has asked, and I know that Deacon and Maddie have already answered, but him and his sister have always argued if Conjuring, the first Conjuring or the second Conjuring is better. Do you have input? I've only seen the first Conjuring, so that's the only answer I can give.
I'll take this real quick. I think Conjuring 2 is the better movie, but my favorite is Conjuring 1 because that movie came along and scared me when I hadn't been scared in a while, so I have a lot of respect and love for that film. But I do think 2 may be better, but 1 I favor, so I go with 1.
For me, I thought they were both good in my opinion, but I love the Conjuring universe. I think it's actually cool how they keep expanding it more and more.
Yes.
Yep. And have you seen any of the Conjuring movies, Max?
I have not. I'll add those to my list.
Definitely.
All right. And
my Audio just went through the blender again.
Oh crap!
You're good, dude. You're good.
You're good. But on that note, I think I do need to end it here. I'm getting really tired and I need some sleep. So it's been a pleasure talking with all of you. Gonna.
Nighty night.
Night, dude.
It was a lot of fun.
Night, y'all.
Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. My
Mhm.
pleasure. Absolutely. You added a lot to the conversation.
Well, thank you.
Bye, guys.
See
Bye,
ya.
soon.
Bye.